recovery retreats, and more. For retreat information and schedules, go to melbourneretreat.com. Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Special show today. A lot of breaking stuff. But that phrase, and Tom Brokaw, I've had him on over the years a couple times and asked him about it. I think he deserves credit for that phrase, the greatest generation. Getting through the Depression, defeating the Japanese and Nazis, and the word storming you don't hear often. I remember the Hannity show had Marty, and I met him, Dan, at an event where we were there together. At the end of the show, a veteran who stormed the beaches of Normandy. Other than things like the Alamo, you can't think of too many things more American, more just beyond the imagination when you take a look at what they were able to do. But the greatest generation took America to being the world power it is today. So it's a shame that Joe Biden, with all those guys standing in their 90s there, was trying to sit in a non-existent chair until you could see Dr. Jill Biden stage whispering, "Stand up, stand up." An amazing display today by President Biden of just off-kilter, but what he said and what Blinken said, the Secretary of State, is what I want to play for you. And he talked about, movingly, about the sacrifice of those who didn't come back from D-Day, or the sacrifice of those who did, and what they must have felt and what they went through. But he linked it to Ukraine. And I want to know, is that the right thing to do? You knew he was going to do it, because he says Trump is an isolationist. I say Trump getting us out of this addiction to never-ending wars. I don't care what anyone says. I'm sticking to this. That is going to be Trump's greatest legacy, no matter what else he does. That's what it is. He has completely turned around a party who was part and parcel to these unending wars, be it the Bushes and Cheneys, be it umpteen Democrats who like to throw the American military in there in these godforsaken places, adding up to what? Trump didn't do that. All right, so 855-839-1210, you get on board. Here's what President Biden said, and then his campaign dropped an ad today. Dan made a great point, but I got to steal it here. I mean, he's busy with other stuff. He won't know.
Please do.
Saying they found a veteran with a camo hat and a beard. He would probably be smoking a cigarette, too. Probably the only one in America with a camo hat and a beard who doesn't support Trump and supports Joe Biden. and called Trump a draft dodger. Is this guy an actor?
And we're talking like a Duck Dynasty beard, too.
Yes, I think this guy's an actor. I want him checked out to see if he really is
There's no
a
way
veteran.
he's supporting Biden.
Yeah, that he's supporting Biden over Trump. He's the one they use in the ad. So here's President Biden. And by the way, I know people are always itching in this campaign. It's an itch to love to scratch. We now know the big seven, the lucky seven, that are on Trump's short list, and three of them, it doesn't make sense that they're the top three, really, to be the VP choice. Some days we're more concerned with the VP choice. It's more fun than the presidential choice. But here's Biden talking about the idea, if we don't go all in Ukraine, then we're not getting the message of the sacrifice of D-Day.
Because if we do, Ukraine will be subjugated, and it will not end there. Ukraine's neighbors will be threatened. All of Europe will be threatened. And make no mistake, the autocrats of the world are watching closely to see what happens in Ukraine, to see if we let this illegal aggression go unchecked. We cannot let that happen. To surrender to bullies, to bow down to dictators, is simply unthinkable. Were we to do that, it means we'd be forgetting what happened here in these hallowed beaches. Make no mistake, we will not bow down. We will not forget.
All right, so if we don't do a lot more in Ukraine, he's saying, then we are negating the sacrifices. So, Dan, I remember early on in talk radio, and I think I would react differently now. I went nuts. A guy calls in because flag burning was popular. And he said things, well, what do you think those men who stormed the beaches at Normandy died for? So that people could have a right to burn flags. I'm thinking of those guys storming the beaches in Normandy.
Wow.
I don't think they're saying, yeah, I may be killed today, but it'll be worth it if these idiots who hate America are burning flags. All right, so the president talking about these sacrifices will be negated if we don't continue what we're doing, and I guess more in Ukraine. The men storming the beaches in Normandy, and some of them have given interviews on Fox this time around, saying how distressed they are about the state of the country currently, not just Biden. So do you think the men storming the beaches at Normandy, other than their sense of they're trying to get this war over with, get back home to their families, etc., stop Hitler, defeat this mania, do you think they would say, yes, I'm willing to put my life on the line so that someday we can have a party, the National Democrat Party, that at least hates traditional America, if not the very concepts of America, large portions of them at least do, that we can sacrifice so that we have a party who almost never thoroughly back the military. We can sacrifice so that we have a party that wants to get rid of the police, hates the police. Yeah, I think we'll make that sacrifice. That party will be in charge. You think they would say, the National Democrat Party at least, yes, I'm willing to fight for that. I'm willing to fight for that type of country. I don't think so. 855-839-1210. You tell me otherwise. Now, here's the D-Day ad, the guy with the camo and the beard and all. They're going after Trump on this and dropping it on D-Day. So, okay, politics, you can do this. D-Day of all days, you're dropping this, accusing him of all kinds of things, of not caring about the military. And if you've been in the military and the people we know, like Mike Waltz, of course, the greatest that I know, Colonel Allen West, I don't think they would agree with that. You want to drop this on D-Day, then anything we do with this rotten family is fair game politically. I don't know if Hunter Biden's carrying a Bible in today, but it looked like it to me. He was carrying it with the wife into court. So we're not going to be lectured to anymore with a guy who's trying to sit down when everybody else is standing, a guy who leaves first, they had to get him out of there, and a guy who gives befuddlement a new name. All right, here's the veteran. Here's this ad today contrasting Biden and Trump when it comes to the military.
A good commander-in-chief is somebody who gives a shit. My name is Curtis Register. I served in the United States Marine Corps.
My name is Ed McCabe. I served from the 1990s into 2014.
Hey, my name is Matthew McLaughlin. I was a Navy pilot for 8 years.
It is the first time I'm shaking the hands of a president of the United States. It was pretty impactful to me to see an individual that supports troops not just on the battlefield, but when we return home.
I see a man in Joe Biden who accepts accountability and responsibility. And when I see his predecessor, Donald Trump, I see a man who is only in this for himself.
Who criticizes veterans, who doesn't see it important for him to go to the funerals.
Donald Trump has zero accountability in his life.
He's a draft dodger, simple as that.
I think the election is the difference between authoritarianism and democracy. And I came to see a president that cares about maintaining democracy.
Donald Trump, he's not fit to be commander-in-chief. He's not fit to lead a squad, and he's definitely not fit to be president of the United States.
All right, so that's the ad dropping today on D-Day to emphasize the point even more. Phone lines are 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. It is the greatest generation. This is the capstone of it, and it's true when you look at mortality tables, et cetera. I'm amazed how many of those that stormed the beaches of Normandy or shortly thereafter are there in France. It is remarkable. And it's remarkable when you see those white crosses. Today, when I was thinking about that, one of the all-time greats, I've been lucky. Dan did not get to see talk radio the way I came up in talk radio. Dan, it was a lot more wild and Old West stuff than the corporate.
Some of the stories you tell me about DV. Man.
Oh, yes. And one of them was the great Tom Marr, who was a Marine. And he talked about going to Normandy. And he said, when you see those white crosses, you have a sense of how much America sacrificed to free France and to free Europe. So I take that, seriously. And on this day, to drop that on President Trump politically, yeah, you can do it, but then we don't want to hear about the niceties anymore. This is hand-to-hand combat here. All right, side question today. Coming off, today is National Higher Education Day. We saw this yesterday and saying, I wonder who's out there celebrating that. So we want to hear from you. Something, an institution, a brand that was once revered, was a behemoth, like higher education. Dan's still of the generation, I think, that was told to go to college.
Oh, yeah.
This generation may be still being told. I was the first in my family to go to college, and I knew it, that I was going to be going to college from the time I was 7th or 8th grade easily, or before that probably, right? It was a given. So give us something that really has gone downhill. I'll give you a couple. Bud Light from Bud, the all-time best-selling beer. They barely can get a kick now.
They've really fallen, haven't they?
Yeah. Catholic Church, big time.
Yep.
And every year it falls even lower. I don't know how much lower they can go. The Boy Scouts.
Yeah. And now the Girl Scouts too, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, the Girl Scouts have been taken over. Like the Boy Scouts are surrendering. The Girl Scouts are like activists of craziness. They're out there. They still got the cookies to masquerade it, I guess. But yeah.
Something that was once an institution that has since faltered, Dom. I'm thinking we were just having a conversation about it, but it just came to mind. AM talk radio. I mean,
yes.
Think about us. At one point, it was it's different world, and we got to get back up there. Come on.
I still think we are. I don't know if I'm blanching it. How dare you, sir? That's a duel. How about bringing back duels? I'll meet Borowski out there, whatever weapon he wants to duel with.
And how about Nokia? Nokia,
yes,
everybody had that cell phone.
Grounds with that, yes.
Yeah.
You talk radio. My God, this guy. Who let him in
here?
The
reason why I say it, though, is there's a scene in a Hot Rod, a comedy film, and there's the main Chris Parnell's character comes and talks to the main character and has like a whole diatribe about why AM radio needs to become the king again, and it was once a kingmaker and it should be the king again, and I'm with him. It should
I
be.
still think it is, but okay. I got you. I see where you were going with that. By the way, Dan, let's stop the presses because I can't get enough of this. I think we can announce for Dom Day, special guest. He's not going to be there, although maybe you can work your magic and get him there. But who's going to be on at 12:15 on Dom Day?
He's not going to be there live, but we are going to be joined by American Pie singer himself, Don McLean.
Don McLean, and you already have contacted our in-studio band to learn American Pie, right?
Yeah, so we had a guy by the name of Anthony reach out, and Anthony is going to be doing him and a whole band are going to be out there. I cannot wait to have them. They play for Burning Sky. It's an ultimate Bad Company experience, the Bad Company cover band. But what they do is they play other songs as well. So maybe we'll have some Tom Jones sprinkled in, but we're going to have some Don McLean played for Don McLean as we welcome Don McLean on Dom Day.
He's coming out with a new album. Yeah. Now, how's it going with Tom Jones, though? At least by phone.
Well, yeah, that's tough.
Okay. That's our wish list. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get on board. You can get in right now. Hit us on that. And you heard that ad. I'd love to hear from people today, particularly on D-Day. And just a sense of the greatest generation. Tom Brokaw just hit it out of the park with that. You know, Dan, you're lucky. No, millennials are no longer the target of generations. I don't think. We don't say, remember like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, it was like constant, the millennials.
Yeah, because we're not the worst.
No, each generation gets a little bit worse.
Gen Z is terrible.
Yeah, they are terrible. They're rotten.
Yeah.
The only generation that's really good is the Korean War generation. They're the silent generation.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, nothing negative. Baby boomers, oh, man, it's a horror, you know.
Yeah.
But the millennials were just brutal there for a while.
Oh, come on.
No, I meant in pop culture. It was constantly millennials.
The millennials were the ones that had to adjust to a changing world of, growing technology and all, though. I mean, come on.
The gig economy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming to your calls. You got it. Something that really has gone downhill, like higher education. How can he even have a day? Why are we celebrating higher education? What higher education? What does that even mean anymore?
Right?
855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. And coming up, I have the VP short list. Trump has got it down. Dan, it was 7 this morning. He's added Tom Cotton. Now it's 8. This guy can't stop himself. Really, his short list is probably 200. He's calling people right now. Yeah, what do you think, Borowski? Okay, Dan. When the wheel stops, it'll be at the last minute. He'll go, Stefanik. Now, I'm with Brian Donalds after this week.
Yeah.
And after our experience with him, I'm with Donalds. Dan, who do you like?
Donalds has really shot up my list, and particularly the way he's responded to this crap that's been being said about him and the way his words are being twisted to try to make him look like a black guy, make him look like a racist. It's insane that the Biden administration is even trying to do this. It's sad. It's sad.
Well, the big three that have submitted the most are Burgum, Rubio, and Vance. I don't think any of those with our listeners is even close to number one.
No. I don't see what demographic he wins with any of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you the three left off that are surprising to people. I like Tom Cotton a lot. Now, look, he's tepid. You know what I mean? You're not going to get excitement. I've interviewed him in person, had him on the air a couple times. This guy is great. He's incredibly smart, the military experience, so he's on the list. I'll tell you the three that did not make it, at least according to where we are now. 855-839-1210. You get in on Talk Radio, 1210.
It's the Saturday Night Free-for-All. Starting at 7 p.m., Talk Radio 1210 WPHT is live and local with Michael Pelka from 7 to 10 p.m.
Just look what they're doing to Robert Kennedy. They got his family to go against him in Philadelphia. And I have to say this, that family looks like there's a whole lot of problems there. I know they're trying to play off on the Camelot magic of JFK. It's definitely been bred out of the family. The magic, I think, is gone. But that's just me.
The Saturday Night Free-for-All. Listen this weekend. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home to fix your unit and he wanted to sell you all types of upgrades? Look, if your AC unit is acting unruly this summer and needs to be fixed, we'll send out one of our technicians to do one thing: fix your AC. And if we do think you need a new one, we'll have one of our factory-trained install teams put in a new state-of-the-art train cooling system to keep you cool. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekанze.com.
If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and you're not using a PDQ POS system, it's time to make the switch. PDQ POS will not only save you time, effort, and money, but it's the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available. That's why PDQ POS has been the top-rated restaurant management system for over 35 years. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, PDQ can help your business succeed. Visit pdqpos.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Free speech lives here.
All right, it is Dom time. Lot breaking today. You got the side question, too, 855-839-1210. Let's go to Joe in Columbus. Yeah, I think the RNC is already looking. Are these actors or not, these military guys that the Biden campaign put out here on D-Day? Joe is in Columbus, New Jersey. Hey, Joe, good afternoon.
Good morning, Dom. First thing, I'm glad me and you agree on something. Byron Donald, he's got to be the man. He's my new big man. I used to be a Springsteen fan. This is the new big man.
Well, without a doubt, the way he handled the rebuttal and the way he handled Abby Phillips last night, he's not dismissive in arguing and yelling, but he subtly makes a point he's going to continue talking now. I was impressed as a communicator what this guy can do.
He's a gentle giant with conviction.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other choice. But for these actors, and they got to be actors, Dom, he's the only president who ever shook hands. This is the only president who looked at his watch receiving the remains of soldiers in Dover. Everybody, I don't know how people forget about that, but he did not want to be at Dover that day. So forget the handshaking.
Well, also, I think Trump's record is unbelievable as far as veterans and veterans' benefits and trying to do the right thing by veterans.
Yeah, but was that as atrocious to you as it was to me, the optics of that day with Biden?
Well, yeah, and then Jen Psaki lying about it. And, you got to say to yourself, if you're in that position, you just absolutely can't give any indication of your tired or something else is happening. You just can't do that.
No, you got to,
You got to suck it up for the team no matter what's going on with you. It's not about you.
but it was such an indication of where his interest or his void of interest exists.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you, Joe. So actors, we'll see if by the end of the day we find out. Dan's right. The only guy in America in a camo hat with a beard who's there calling Trump a draft dodger and standing with President Biden.
Like, no one's going out hunting and talking about the positivity of Joe Biden's policies. No.
No, that's right. And seeing him today trying to sit down there when everybody else is standing, Jill Biden, Dan, they had a scene in Seinfeld when they had the woman who can read lips but is deaf, and they were both trying to talk to each other by covering their face and all. She starts scratching her nose like this, stand up, during it, and then leads them off into the sunset. Macron has to address the veterans then. It's obvious here every single day the difficulty this guy has. But this contention, these men sacrificed, and if we don't do this in Ukraine, their sacrifice was for naught. Well, I just, it's a hard thing to get inside the minds of somebody who is probably thinking at that point, the main thing, Patton's thing, don't die for your country, kill the other SOB for his country, and is trying to win the war and get home, to think what their motivation is. But I don't think their motivation is to have people like the Squad running down the country. I don't think their motivation is to have what the National Democrat Party has become. I don't think they could imagine that 80 years later. I don't think they can imagine how routine this stuff is that runs down traditional America. So we have to give a whole lot more to Ukraine. Otherwise, the sacrifices of D-Day will be forgotten. Now, you don't get to glom onto this because of a political campaign. You don't. You're there for the country to remember the greatest generation, remember a capstone of that. For your own political advantage, you're there to show that you are in commander-in-chief, you're a world leader, and all that. I don't think you're there to bring Ukraine up in a way that says if you're an isolationist, so-called isolationist. And again, I think, however you look at it, Trump's legacy in the Republican Party. And I was there, Dan, in the Oval Office when those men came in, the congressmen, about 20 of them, trying to convince Trump we ought to put troops in Syria of all places. One of them was Dan Crenshaw. And I could tell Trump, was okay when meeting with them, but he wasn't going to do it. It's constant, this need to put American. Why did we have those 3 people die in Jordan recently? Or if you're Biden and these people in this ad, how do you like what Biden did to our troops in Afghanistan? The people that stood up there. Do you think that's a sterling commander-in-chief in any way, shape, or form? All right, give us something that really, really has fallen down, that used to be big time, used to be a behemoth coming off. Today is Higher Education Day. Oh, my God. The mind is blown at this, thinking about Higher Education Day. All right, let me throw into the mix. Here are 3 people that are not on the short list. Now, apparently, as I told you, 3 people have been asked and have filed advanced paperwork. From what I can glean today, that means more than some of the others. Does that indicate there's more interest? Maybe. Those 3 are Rubio, Doug Burgum, and J.D. Vance. All right. I don't see listeners here, particularly Burgum. Man, nice guy, but Mike, out of the world. Mike Pence would be.
Over here.
Mike Pence is a warm cup of milk. It's superheated versus this guy. All right.
It's the eyebrows, Dom. There.
That's the eyebrows.
Yeah, it's.
All right.
Can't look away.
Cotton just got added. Maybe somebody said, I want to put the final 8 up here, the Elite 8 on the screen. Rather, I don't like 7.
I
He's
feel like
up
we need
there.
a big list theme for this.
Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, yes.
You need order. You need
should put them in
structure.
order. Okay.
Why even question who to turn to? Dom Giordano tells you what's big and important in today's world and what order you need to care about it in. It's time for Dom Giordano's Big List.
Well, I think my number 1 would be Brian Donalds. Let's see. These are hard to do on the fly. Thank you for doing
Just give me
that.
three. Just give me three. I don't need a
Three.
top 10.
The top three. I more can be negative and knock any number of these people off that
That's
I
right,
don't
yeah.
see it.
No, fine. Let's do a big list. Top three of who shouldn't be Trump's vice president. Dom's big list.
Yes. Okay. Burgum is on there. Rubio. I don't see Rubio bringing you anything. I hear the Latina. I don't think that's going to work. I don't see that going on. So I would take Rubio off the list. I'm not sure about Stefanik. Dan, if they're really thinking. Now, look, I like Stefanik as a fighter, what she did to those college presidents. But if they're thinking Stefanik is on the list, Dan, because she's going to reach these women in the suburbs, that's what I heard this morning. Come on now. There's no way she's going to argue with them, don't you think?
I don't know, because Stefanik, where I argue with you there is, I don't know, she will reach women in the suburbs, but what she will reach is people on TikTok or Instagram, and they have kind of a troll sense.
Yeah.
And not that she's young, but her moment with those college university heads went so viral that even Maisie saw it 5-6 times on her TikTok feed, and she doesn't know politics, you know?
Yeah,
so
she did really well.
she's recognizable to a younger audience.
Yeah, it's Donald's. One of the ones I don't get, one of the biggest I don't get is Tim Scott. You got to love the guy in a lot of different ways, but Tim Scott is just ponderous, Dan. I can't think of anything else. You saw him during the campaign. It's slow moving.
He's really gone down the chart. Because remember, after when he did the response to the State of the Union, where he did Cotton to Congress, he was hot and he was great, and but he's really just kind of the debates. He was really boring and dry.
Well,
and
the betting polls have him as the leader at 5-1, which I don't believe. All right, here are the three, and I wanted you to know what you think about this. And these are favorites among people. Not on the list: Vivek, DeSantis. People talked about that as a dream team, right? And Tulsi Gabbard, not on the list. Here's what it tells me. In the end, as wild as some of the stuff Trump might get into, some of these controversies, Dan, when it comes to actually selecting someone, he takes an approach in his own way that is very calculated, very focused, picking Pence, evangelicals. I think he thinks Vivek is a little too hot, Tulsi Gabbard too much of a wild card. And he and DeSantis, both of them know deep down, Dan, 4 years of that. Can you imagine? I don't see that working out with DeSantis as a number two with Trump. No way. Not that it wouldn't be effective to voters, but I don't see DeSantis playing number two to Trump.
I think DeSantis, along with Nikki Haley, have their own idea what they want for the future of the Conservative Party, and it differs from what Trump wants.
And they can't sit there as a VP and just...
And Trump, I think, is also thinking toward the future, who's going to be his successor eventually.
Right.
And I don't think he wants it to be brought in the direction that DeSantis or Nikki Haley wants to take it. So he wants somebody he can kind of trust.
Exactly. Now, the only caveat I'd say this, if by some circumstance that I can't see, say by after Labor Day, Trump feels he's a bit on the ropes, that if things stand as they are, it'll be tight, but he might lose. I don't mean might just like, I mean, it looks like he could lose. Well, we won't know. He's going to pick, he's going to pick it by the convention. So if we get closer to the convention and things don't look good, I still see him able to pick Nikki Haley. But the fact that she's not being vetted, there's nothing on the list. She's not on it. Vivek, DeSantis, and Tulsi. With listeners here, is it just recency bias that Byron Donalds, and we have more, we have some of the back and forth with Abby Phillip last night over the Jim Crow stuff. We'll play that coming up. Is the new leader in the clubhouse. All right, so hit us with some...
Can I ask you one more thing?
Sure.
I'm sorry to throw you
That's
one more
okay.
curveball. Fisherpine Leslie on
Yes.
Twitter says, Dom, the weight of foreign affairs should weigh heavily on yours and Trump's decision. And reading between the lines, I don't know if that's about Tulsi Gabbard or not, but how important do you think the foreign affairs aspect of this decision is for Trump?
I don't know why she thinks that. To me, it's
Ukraine, Israel.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's about one thing to me.
I think Nikki Haley, almost she's speaking out against too, is
warmongering. Yeah, I hear you. To me, it's about one thing, though, really, that you always got to look at with this. I'd like to be lofty like Leslie, Dan, worried about that. I'm worried about one thing. You know what it is, right? Winning. All this other stuff is great. But if you don't win, think of the consequence. So you're playing small ball here. What gives you the best chance to win? All right, so I get her point. So I guess she likes Tulsi Gabbard still, and she thinks Ukraine and all these other things, and Gabbard.
Call us, Liz.
Yes, exactly. I just think more who's going to help you win here. Now, I have to admit, I am really impressed with Byron Donalds after this week. Is that just recency bias? We're not looking at the big picture. Is there anybody that's going to say, Tim Scott, Ben Carson, Dan, is on the list? No way. That he's probably the least. Great American, a guy touched by God. He doesn't, I mean, he's a brilliant guy, but he doesn't know, Dan, how was he able to operate on the co-joined twins in the manner that he did? Nobody could do that. He's blessed, but I don't see him as the VP choice. All right, let's go to Chris in Malvern on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Chris, afternoon to you.
After 40 years of waiting for a parade, I threw the towel in 2010 on the Philadelphia Flyers. So hopefully Danny Breer's listening, because they did a free fall censor, disgrace to the sport. And the only news coming out over the last, going on 15 years is this stupid mascot.
Right, exactly.
It's turning around, though. I do think things are turning around.
No, they're not. They stink.
Hey, while you're here, Chris, we're working on, coming up Saturday, June 15th, the 50th anniversary of the Flyers winning their first Stanley Cup championship out in Avalon, and we might be talking with some of the bullies either tomorrow or next week.
Oh, perfect.
My point, 50 years. Jesus.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I hope it's the Hound, Dan. When that guy would come on the ice, oh, my God, he ran over his own players. He ran over the puck, over the referees. He was just action like you couldn't believe.
So working through a mutual friend that we both share, and we're looking for the Hammer or the Hound. So one of those two, we'll try to get you.
Okay. No Big Bird, no Don Selesky?
Oh, also available. I put Hammer or Hound as your two priorities because you know them the best. And
I'm telling you, I'm sitting there somehow or another doing a remote at a carnival of a Catholic church. And Bob the Hound Kelly is the guest, and people are bringing up, I don't think they were serving alcohol there. Suddenly, we got all kinds of drinks in front of us.
They demanded it.
Yes, they just went.
Bring me the bourbon.
They just went to the car and got bourbon or whatever.
Those guys are awesome.
I don't think that guy can pay for a drink in town anywhere.
The documentary on HBO, fantastic. Oh.
Might be a side question when we get them on. Who is it that couldn't buy a drink in Philadelphia? Somebody else would pay for it.
That's a fantastic. Wow, that's a really good side question.
I got to write that.
Hey, can I just finish with? So, if anyone's interested in attending Avalon's 50th anniversary of the Flyers Stanley Cup Championship, Surfside Park starting at 3 p.m. Saturday, June 15th.
The most vicious guy, though, is Bobby Clark, though, or Bob Clark. You have to call him.
Yeah.
I mean, breaking the ankle of that Russian goalie. Oh my God, just whacking him. 855-839-1210. All right, jump on board. Your calls are next with Dom and Dan.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania.
Being with Crash Proof is like being in a big family. We know there's a lot of other people out there just like us, and everyone's very happy.
Yeah, they're not sad.
They're not sad. I mean, we come in and we know our money's safe and it's continuing to grow.
The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And with the crash-proof system, we made just under 7%. Even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life in retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Only Crash-Proof Retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Introducing the Honickman Center at Jefferson Health. Outpatient care designed by patients like you. Together, we're shaping the future of medicine, where advanced technology and comprehensive services ensure convenience and accessibility for all patients. Everything you need to simplify the complexity of care is available in one location. Uncompromising care, delivered by world-class physicians. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
The ride you want is what we've got, so
drive a little and
save a lot. At TurnersvilleJeep.com, the deal you'll be bragging about for the rest of the year awaits. See TurnersvilleJeep.com's big selection and save on the one you love. And right now, save even more with 0 down lease deals at TurnersvilleJeep.com. The ride you want is what we've got, so
drive a little and
save a lot. TurnersvilleJeep.com, your premier New Jersey Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Wagoneer dealer.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The forecast remains a bit unsettled across the Delaware Valley today. Skies partly to mostly cloudy, still a chance for a shower or storm. It'll be humid with a high 86. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low 68. And for Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, warm but less humid, high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
It is Dom time. People love the VP choice lottery. And again, there's all kinds of reasons with Trump why some are on the list. Bob the Hound Kelly joining us tomorrow at 1:15. Woo! All right, work up your questions, comments for that. It's that's one of the all-time teams, those two back-to-back Flyers teams. The Broad Street Boys. There hasn't been anything like it since. So, yeah, that was quite a fall off. Not just in winning or not winning, but just the whole aura. Rexy's Dan. Our buddy, the mayor of Audubon Park. Rexy's there. That's where they used to all hang out.
Oh, yeah?
mean, imagine the team that was winning Stanley Cups. All of them there after practice, like 20 of them or so, drinking. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
You won't see that with athletes today. I don't know where you would find them. You know, they just don't go out. They don't do that. That was all part of it, yeah. What was the guy, Moose DuPont? Horace Kinderchuck, the Watson brothers.
Yeah, the Watsons will be out there at this event, too.
Oh, will they?
Yeah.
Well, my favorite, though, of all them, though, is the owner, Ed Snyder. Oh, what a guy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Let's go to Leslie and Bryn Mawr on Talk Radio 1210. Leslie.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I think you have mistaken my aloha greeting as a supporter of Tulsa.
That's right. Yeah, we're glad to hear that. We thought you were going to take us to the woodshed on that. Okay.
Well, I'm going to take you to the woodshed that I am not for Tulsi Gabbard at all.
What's the fly in the ointment?
She's still a Dem. She is just part of the group of the Dems that are walking away.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't make her a conservative.
Yeah,
So,
no, I hear what you say. Look, I think she hasn't been fully vetted. She's a contrarian. And look, you have to give credit, though, service to the country, but she's a contrarian on things that make her exotic. Are they legit? You know what I mean? It's one of those things. To your point,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's a tough choice. I like Byron Donalds a lot, but we also need really strong members in Congress. And so I'm not saying I don't want him as VP. I think he'd be great as VP, but VPs tend to really kind of not have a lot of influence. And I can't see Trump, like, how much influence did Pence really have?
True,
And
but
Trump's
again,
not going to give up that.
Right. I hate to be blunt, Leslie. Though to me, and you're a higher order. To me, it's about one thing, and I'm not saying I would want to disrupt his career, and that is, I just want to win. If he helps you win, I'm going to do it. You know.
I get it, but there could be others on that. That. And then you have to remember, we don't also, if it doesn't turn out, we don't want to be stuck with, in a Kamala Harris situation.
Yeah, I hear you. How about Vivek? You still like him?
I don't think Byron Donalds is please, there's no comparison between the two.
Well, I saw him. Now, some of it is I got to interview him finally. Then I saw this thing that he got involved in here with Jim Crow. And he walked the line. He didn't say what they said, and even better, when he came back at them, particularly going on CNN, he was very effective. The person interviewing wanted to push him harder, couldn't, so she just did the interview. Few Republicans can do what this guy can do in that manner.
Although it seems a lot of them lately have been standing up better. Rubio stood up recently to, I forget who it was. I think it was CNN. So, they're all starting to get some feet underneath them, which is a good thing. But overall, when we're in or on the brink of World War III, that foreign policy issue has to be very important and considered when Trump is making this decision.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it will be. Leslie, what has gone downhill a lot?
So I don't know about you, but anytime I call customer service, I get "Hola, por eso uno por español."
Exactly. Yeah.
And the rest of you Americans call back later.
Gotcha. Thanks, Leslie. And the Americans that you get are even worse. That's why whenever I lead with Roy's batteries plus bulbs, what do I talk about? Mania over customer service. In fact, Dan, you were right. This Remington with a chainsaw thing is a clock. Guy sent me a long letter yesterday about going to batteries plus bulbs, and they brought the clock back to life, even though it is a Remington. That's what it's called. So nice stuff. All right, more calls coming up. Hit me on the side question. We got a lot going on here. We're going to talk with the head of Veterans for Trump at 1 o'clock, former gunnery sergeant. You often see her on Newsmax, and I think they offered this today because of that ad around Trump and Biden with the one grizzled veteran in America who's supporting Biden. We'll get to all that. But Father's Day, summer cookouts, all good reasons to make the call to Captain Chucky's. Order that delicious seafood. Make your gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Important to call them up. Perfect time, too, to check all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuff, mushrooms, salads. You'll save so much time letting the folks at Captain Chucky's prepare your table. They have several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers, they use only the highest quality ingredients. Their Gulf shrimp, a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. And my favorite, get them on your table, the Dom Roll. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. Visit WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Find out where that nearest Captain Chucky's is. If you're headed to the shore, Captain Chucky's at the shore.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Guys in the break room, I go in there to get coffee, and they're all looking at this Chex Mix thing. It's all melded like a Dorito turd that's in the bag.
In the vending machine?
Yeah, in the vending machine.
Well, there was a bag of chips hanging in the vending machine for like 5 days.
Yeah, it's been there for weeks, actually.
And it's like this close to falling off the ledge.
I've tried to shake it. It still goes nowhere.
Radio station kitchens are the greatest thing of all time. There's content fodder for days in that area.
Absolutely true.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become a valued part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
I'm a dad, as you know, and I know what my dad wants for Father's Day, so I'm the expert when it comes to this. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Here's how you make Dad very, very happy this Father's Day. Omaha Steaks. Packages starting at just $89 when you go to omahasteaks.com and use my promo code ZEOLI at checkout. ZEOLI. Father's Day's almost here. You got to get cracking on this, all right? You can pick from premium proteins like juicy pork chops, air-chilled chicken, beefy burgers, and obviously the best steaks out there. Endless flavor, endless variety, and endless value. omahasteaks.com. Promo code ZEOLI at checkout. That's how you get the packages starting at $89. And you don't want to wait on this. And trust me, Dad does not want anything else but this amazing food. Because he can have the family around the grill. We love to grill. Makes us feel like a guy, manly, you know what I mean? So do it today. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Packages starting at $89 when you go to omahasteaks.com and use my promo code ZEOLI at checkout. omahasteaks.com.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Tom Giordano's show. Welcome in. So we have a lot more now in the VP choice. We gave you that. It appears to be the Elite Eight. They threw Tom Cotton this morning. Look, Tom Cotton is among the smartest, tremendous combat record. And his methodology of pushing back has been really good. He doesn't let anybody push him around. We played you a lot of his stuff recently. Don't know that he moves in needles for people, though, in any way, shape, or form. And some of these maybe are on there because Trump's just being nice. God knows how many more might end up on there. But people love, it tells us something, I guess. Maybe that's it. That's part of it. But the big story today, coming out of D-Day, is the Biden administration dropping this ad with some veterans, allegedly. We have to take them at their word. They're veterans going after Trump on D-Day. Also, Biden saying the sacrifice of D-Day 80 years ago is lost if we're not doing more in Ukraine. I just can't imagine that's going to fly. But we'll have a chance to talk about that. Coming up, we're going to talk with Jessie Jane Duff, 20 years in the military, gunnery sergeant in the Marines, and the head of veterans for Trump. We'll talk with her. Let's go to Joel in Harrisburg on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Don. Give you two out-of-the-box ideas for Trump for VP. One, he tells the country in 2028, pick your next generation to the Democrats or Republicans. But in 2024, he's going to nominate someone who was both a House of Representatives person and a past senator, and say he's going to go to Congress and work with them for 4 years. That person would be Pat Toomey. That's one idea. Second idea.
Well, wait a minute. I got to stop you right there. The base of support rejects that completely, without a doubt. I mean,
Why?
Why? They hate him now. You're kidding me, Joel. Of Trump supporters?
Okay. All right. Then that's fine. Then the second one is you go full MAGA, and you say, I'm going to nominate someone who's going to go after Kamala, who's a veteran, who's a new mother, and who's Hispanic, and that's Anna Paulina Luna.
All right. I don't know about any distinguishing there with her. I wouldn't do that. I'm a bit very wary of her in interviews that I see, and I don't know how much she's been vetted. Okay. But Pat Toomey. Woo. Tony in Yardley is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Tony.
Hi. Yeah. Remember on D-Day when John Kelly said that Trump said that these troops were all suckers and losers, and he asked what's in it for them?
Well, that allegation went out there. It was more with Bolton, but okay.
Oh, so John Kelly, who's a decorated war veteran, and
I'm not denying that. He said it. He said it afterward, but it was Bolton. So your point, Tony.
Well, my point is Trump's a piece of garbage, and why wouldn't we listen to John Kelly?
Okay, so you believe that actually happened in that manner, Tony, so that, in your view, you would disqualify him for it. Okay.
Yeah, I think President Bone Spur could care less about the troops.
Well, then tell me then, are all these people dupes, all these people like Waltz and Alan West and all these others who have been up close and personal with Trump, you think they're just duped by this guy?
No, they're political opportunists.
Oh, even worse.
Like everyone around.
That's
right.
now. Tony. See, wait a minute. So I took your point about Trump, your objection. That's fine. And now you're besmirching people like Alan West who have put it on the line, and Waltz, Army Ranger, aren't you?
I don't know much about either one. But I know Trump is surrounded by people that can't stand him, rightly so. All you got to do is look at what they said about him before he came to power or right after January 6th. I mean, do you think Marco Rubio really likes and thinks highly of Donald Trump?
Well, no, wait a minute. Marco Rubio, that's a different thing. You're right. That there's a political situation there with Rubio.
What about Ted Cruz? What about Lindsey Graham? What about McCarthy?
Well, wait a minute. We could say okay.
I didn't ask for this.
We could say the same thing, could we not? That goes back and forth in politics. My point to you, though, is when you're dealing with military men and military policy around this, I don't think Waltz and Alan West are going to do that. That's my point. That's what I was distinguishing. Okay, so is it fine to put this out on D-Day? I mean, there's no law against it. But you want to do this on D-Day, you want to have hand-to-hand combat, then let's get it on. Let's put Hunter Biden in jail. That's what I'm waiting for. All right, more of your calls coming up. We're going to talk with the head of Veterans for Trump, 20 years service she had in the Marine Corps. You see her on Newsmax a lot. And we'll see what she says to President Biden today and to this ad. That's coming up. Hey, batteries plus bulbs. I just told you the guy that tweeted at me, this Remington, it's got a chainsaw on it. It's a clock that Roy again struck and brought back to life. Just got that today. I get these all the time about batteries plus bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. Roy and his staff, his chief master tech, Chris Sharp, Farrah, the store manager. I have in front of me just a list of people saying, I cannot believe the service is this good. They're that knowledgeable. I learned something with this around tech. Roy says that's what we do. We fix things. We give great customer service with great expertise. Roy started the original batteries plus bulbs 18 years ago. He knows what he's doing. It's like a superstar here. You mention my name when you stop in either of Roy's stores and be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use at the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations, no purchase necessary. I could go on about the services, the bargains you'll find there, but I'll tell you this, they know how to help you. Businesses also. Call on them, 856-638-0778.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379, 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. The school year is ending, and now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and make the most of the rest of this school year and get a plan in place for your student this fall. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
I see a man in Joe Biden who accepts accountability and responsibility. And when I see his predecessor, Donald Trump, I see a man who is only in this for himself.
Who criticizes veterans, who doesn't see it important for him to go to the funerals.
Donald Trump has zero accountability in his life.
He's a draft dodger, simple as that.
I think the election is the difference between authoritarianism and democracy. And I came to see a president that cares about maintaining democracy.
Donald Trump, he's not fit to be commander-in-chief, he's not fit to lead a squad, and he's definitely not fit to be president of the United States.
All right, that's the ad for the Biden campaign, dropping on all days, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Joining us to talk about that and more broadly, veterans and President Trump, is the executive director of Veterans for Trump. Jessie Jane Duff served in the U.S. Marine Corps on active duty for 20 years, retiring as a gunnery sergeant. She previously served as senior military advisor with Concerned Veterans for America, outspoken advocate for holding the Veterans Administration accountable for the backlog of claims for benefits by thousands of veterans. She joins us here in Philadelphia on Talk Radio 1210. Thank you for your service, Jessie Jane Duff, first of all, and thanks for joining us on a huge day.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me today. I get a little uncomfortable whenever my bio's read because I'm thinking in my head, oh my goodness, no. There's no accolades I can receive when I know that there's so many veterans that never made it home. Basically, military service members who died in their uniform trying to save the world, save our country, save others other than themselves, and fight for the freedom of this great nation. And it's such a humbling experience now to lead this coalition. But that ad, oh my goodness, it's really a Hail Mary attempt for this man who had to look at his watch as we saw the remains coming home at Dover Air Force Base, and he didn't do it just once, he did it multiple times, despite what Jen Psaki put in her memoirs, or her book, I should say. Also, we know that he has never met with the Gold Star families of those who had died at Abbey Gate, or the family members of those that were killed by the Iranian-backed drones by the Houthi rebels after we've been attacked probably over 50-some-odd times on our military installations just this past December all the way through January. We know that Joe Biden doesn't want to meet with the veterans' families because he would have to face the music of what he did with that botched withdrawal in Afghanistan. For them to put out some type of claim that Donald Trump is a draft dodger when Joe Biden himself had, 4 or 5 deferments, and it wasn't even for college. He claimed that he had asthma as a kid, something to that effect, but yet he had always talks about being a lifeguard. Supposedly he got accepted in the Naval Academy. Oh, what else did he claim?
Well, wait a minute. I'll help you there. It was only because Roger Staubach was there that Joe didn't go to the Naval Academy. Yes,
yeah.
You're right.
Well, yeah. But with that said, if he had gotten these deferments to Vietnam, there's no practicality that he would have ever been able to serve ever in the military. For them to put up veterans that make these really disgusting claims when their man never even volunteered to serve and utilized his medical waiver of whatever, I don't bemoan anybody for having a medical waiver. I mean, not everybody is fit to serve for a variety of different reasons, legitimate reasons. But to now put it in an ad as if he didn't utilize his capability to dodge the draft, I think it was 5 times. He was out of college actually already. So it wasn't even a college waiver, which Donald Trump had, aside from the one time he had bone spurs. And anybody who's ever had bone spurs knows that they're quite painful. But that's where, despite all that, it's a disgusting allegation when this man has never acknowledged the Gold Star families. He gets up there in Normandy today and gives this bumbling speech and starts talking about Russia and the Ukraine and the threats to democracy, and not really honoring the men that are, albeit 99, 98, 100 years old, sitting in front of him, who should have deserved all the accolades for freeing Europe from the greatest
Gunnery
tyrant.
Sergeant, your point, and again, this is a tendency with Biden. Sometimes he, to me, diminishes Beau Biden's service by using that as a shield. I think you're right. On a day like this, the 80th particularly, and Ronald Reagan did it correctly in the 60th, you focus.
And so did Donald Trump on the 75th.
Right. You focus on nothing else. You don't wander into current conflicts. I think you stick with the men that are there. Thank God, the remaining men. That's it.
Absolutely. And, when you listen to his speech, it is bumbling, the usual efforts that he makes. And then he tries to rope minorities and women into the speech so that he can show his diversity propaganda that he is using to try to win a campaign, instead of, again, focusing on just Americans of all races, creeds, and colors that came together against one foe. And that's the more important way than to try to marginalize one group against another group. Let's focus on all the unification of the Americans that came to set Europe free, albeit, it took us a while to get into the ball game. We had tried to ignore Hitler as long as possible. But albeit that on Normandy, the day that those beaches were stormed by the United States and its allies, the first wave or 2 or 3 of men knew that they would have high casualties, and they had interviewed a battalion commander in the Army, what is going to happen when they die? And he said, we'll send another wave in. They knew that their death was probably imminent, and they fearlessly decided that this is what they must do to stop this tyrant
let me
from killing
ask
others.
you, on a day like this, Gunnery Sergeant, so you're a very practical person in the military. It shocks me, particularly Omaha Beach, maybe the others, maybe the resistance wasn't quite as overwhelming, that they were able to get up those cliffs and storm that. As a military person, does it shock you that was doable? It seems
well,
impossible.
They overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
It was impossible till you overwhelmed them. It was the largest naval fleet that was off the shores. As the Germans woke up that morning, seeing a brigade of, we're talking massive amounts of naval warships that they had never witnessed before, let alone in historical terms, had never happened before, and we hope they never will happen again. So the waves of men that had to take that beach, it was imminent. Eventually they would break through. And some of those young men, many of them 19, 20, 21 years old, 18 even, died right there, never to come back home to see their children, their wives, their parents. And that's what Donald Trump had said, along with Ronald Reagan. I was listening to Donald Trump's presentation on the 75th anniversary before I got on the air, and it's emotional. It's emotional tribute to what the sacrifice those men made. And that's why the people in France and that community to this day take care of the cemeteries, watch over those graves, clean them, make sure, because they know that they would have fallen to Hitler's tyrants, and it would have been a whole different world had it not been for the U.S. forces, along with their allies, who came in and literally saved them from that tyranny of the Nazis and what they were trying to do to all of Europe.
Gunner Sergeant, the one thing I often see when I take a look at this, dropping this ad on D-Day, I think is inappropriate. And you're right, some of the things you said about President Trump, that we get back to people like you, for example, if you ran for office, that we start to see more people running for president that had extensive military experience. Do you think it's just the numbers are relatively small, or do you think that something's been lost? It used to be that any number of people were presidential candidates, had deep service in the military.
Well, it was a different era. Our military forces had to be larger because we didn't have the advanced operational capabilities that we have today. What we can do with one man or woman, with our aircraft, with our strategic forces, with our infantry, the capabilities are so much more profound that you were guaranteed to have a greater number, because in World War II there was a draft, in Vietnam there was a draft, in Korea there was a draft. Less than 5% of this country serves this great nation. So you will have smaller numbers, number one. Number two, I don't always believe that the veteran is the best choice. I think a veteran gives them leverage for patriotism and honor and duty. But listen, there's plenty of Democrat veterans who run. Look at Vindman right now trying to run for Congress, who basically his brother tried to go against the commander-in-chief in the testimony about the Ukraine, which in my opinion was basically treasonous, because you have to get a permission by your commanding officer, let alone the commander of your force, to speak against your commander-in-chief, and he flagrantly did that and got away with it. There's many of people that have not done well in the political arena just because they're veterans, because often you can get sucked into the military-industrial complex and start profiting off of it. Let's look at Secretary Lloyd Austin. When he got confirmed, he had up to $1.5 million in unvested stock with Raytheon, and we don't know to this day if it was ever vested, which means there's a profit involved. Many of these general officers that are going into the Pentagon, not all, but many, have made massive amounts of money because of their expertise, so to speak, and working for the defense industry. So you have to be cautious with letting just the veteran status be the only thing that motivates or drives you to vote for an individual. They have to understand what free enterprise is about. They have to understand that the small business owner, what it's like to be overwhelmed with taxes and inflation. They have to understand the immigration policies that are making this country suffer and collapse. So it's a little bit broader than that, and I appreciate often the veteran that has done those things on top of their military service. Then you are getting really a plethora of expertise versus somebody who's only been in the lane of overwhelm and destroy the enemy and doesn't have has their blinders on to what the average American is experiencing under this overreach by the government.
I understand completely. Where do we go to find your group? Because I have a feeling this is going to be the next month or so very, very much a campaign battle.
Yep.
Where do you go?
So I have asked every single veteran to sign up for the Coalition of Veterans and Military Families for Trump. And go to this website. Now, listen up, everybody. It's veterans.DonaldJ.Trump. Get that in middle initial in there, otherwise you won't get to the website. Veterans.DonaldJ.Trump. Well, one of my vets was like, I can't find it, and he was doing Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump. So veterans.DonaldJTrump.com. Get in there and sign up. We want the largest coalition of veterans to stand by against Joe Biden and stand by Donald Trump, because for Joe Biden to put out that insulting video that has these vets trying to say draft dodger and trying to say they didn't serve with honor, when Donald J. Trump did more for veterans on his watch than any other commander-in-chief in my recent memory. He extended the VA loan so that people the VA GI Bill, so that it would not expire. He made sure that they had access to veterans facilities if they were over outside of veterans facilities, medical care if they were over 50 miles away from a VA facility. He ensured that veterans had a suicide hotline that under the Obama administration often was left unanswered. He went after a lot of the targeted problems that people have had with their VA care in particular. So, Joe Biden suggests these reprehensible remarks are actually fact goes to show that the left will repeat a lie long enough until you believe it, and that's what happens. We have defuncted many of the words that they have said about President Trump, where witnesses have stated that he has never said slanderous things about veterans. But there's always enemies in your midst who want people to believe the worst of others. Whereas Joe Biden, again, still never called those Gold Star families from Afghanistan with the botched withdrawal, never called the families that were bombed by the Houthi rebels, and continually looked at his watch, which that definitely was telling that he couldn't even focus on the moment as each body was taken off of that aircraft. So shame on him. Veterans will have to unite. Sign up at veterans.DonaldJTrump.com. We want to have 1 million veterans. There's 22.5 million of us. There's no reason we can't have 1 million. Stand and solidify their support for Donald J. Trump to become the next commander-in-chief, because this one is weak, has us on the verge of 2 new wars, and we do not need more veterans coming back disabled or military men and women killed on the front lines.
Exactly. Thank you, Gunnery Sergeant. Thank you for joining us. Hope to have you on frequently.
Well, take the Hill motivators. We've got an election to win.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gunnery Sergeant. The only point, Dan, I differ a little bit there to the point. I get what she's saying. Do I give too much credit if the person has an extensive military background? I still believe in that. Yeah, it's great that they don't just run for Congress after that. They do something in the private sector and all. But all things being equal, I remember that with General Petraeus, for example, before the difficulties, any number of them. I just think it would be good that we see contenders that have that kind of military background. Not that if you don't, you can't be president, but it would be a better crop of people. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get on board. Give me your response to that. This ad dropping today on D-Day, but it's also Biden talking about sacrifice. If we don't do more in Ukraine, then the sacrifice of D-Day is lost. Come on. Really, we're going to make that kind of linkage? And most presidents will deviate from just the people that are in front of them there that are being honored. Biden does it to an extraordinary degree. And he always does it when he's in trouble. Beau Biden comes up. Today, making it about Putin and isolation. And that's not, I think, the reason that you have people there. It's the 80th anniversary. It's a major one on the 10s. And 2, how many of these people are going to be alive with the 85th, for example? I'm amazed how many of them are in their late 90s, or even a few were over 100 that were there today. I think you just focus on them. But I get it. It's political season. It's a big moment to say Trump, isolationist. These people, thank God we were not isolationist. The difference is we were attacked. Until that point, we were not involved in the war. And that's a much more clear-cut war than the issue with Ukraine and what we've done for Ukraine. All right, get in on the side question. Today, National Higher Education Day. A judge has ordered Steve Bannon to prison July 1st. I don't think that's Judge Marchand, but maybe it could be. I thought he was involved in his case. And that's finally happening. We'll see if he actually goes to jail on July 1st, though. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in with Dom here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hugs from patients like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now, it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free, the consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
All right, what a day. I mean, just the, again, our attention is on the military today. Really, mine's on the greatest generation in toto, more than just the military, but okay. And the Biden people dropped this ad today that is a direct attack on Trump and the bond that appears to be there with veterans. That's where we are. Okay. Doing it on this day, though, is an interesting thing. More attention, but maybe not a day that you want to be doing that. You can do it, but we're going to see that this campaign is going to be even more of a brawl. That's where we are coming forward. Also, we have the VP choices out there today. The linkage of the talk of Ukraine, the sacrifice of 80 years ago wouldn't be worth it unless we do more for Ukraine is just ridiculous. At best, it's ridiculous, and it's a whole lot more than that. So we also have the Hunter Biden trial. The highlight, if you will, so far is that the laptop is real. It always was real. And this judge is doing a good job of taking a high-profile case and conducting it pretty much by the book, as I see it, in that she's not allowing a lot of salacious material in there about Hunter Biden. It's kind of hard to avoid. I think that Haley Biden is testifying that the smoking of crack every 20 minutes, things of that day. But they're not letting him run wild like we saw with Stormy Daniels and with Michael Cohen. All right, it's being conducted within the bounds of gathering evidence here. So it's going to be interesting when we get the verdict in this to see what the Biden administration says then. It's clear to me they'll use a pardon. If they win, they'll be able to use it. If they lose, they'll think, what the heck? And that's what you're going to see happen here with Hunter Biden. And I get it, the reluctance people have of saying, is this that major of a thing, this regulation, lying on this, that you were not a drug addict? And the answer to that is, this is a family, a corrupt political family. Biden, one of the biggest things he's done is push for more and more gun control regulations. So it is fitting, and that gun was dangerous, abandoned there on top of everything else by Hunter Biden, allegedly. And then there's the laptop in the center of this, and what difference would that have made in 2020? Would it have been determinative? You got to think, in a few swing states, there were only a few thousand votes. So the media now telling us about the laptop. When Trump wins, one of the first 10 seconds, is to remove all security clearances for the people that signed off on this and told us to shut up. There's nothing on the laptop. It's Russian disinformation. It doesn't exist. What was it, 52 of them they got to sign off to be a shield for Hunter Biden again. All right, let's go to Joe in Exton. And Joe, good afternoon. How you doing today?
Fine, Dom, and good Thursday afternoon to you. For the side question, my institution, which has faded from public attention, is the Peace Corps.
Well, it certainly has. Has it gone downhill, though, do you think, Joe, or just it's not top of mind?
I think both, because it's hardly ever spoken about. I heard it recently, but not very often.
No, and it was golden. It was magical when that first came out. It was seen as one of the greatest things Americans could do. It was a brilliant idea. Joe.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And everybody was rushing to join it.
Yeah. Joe, Dan wants to know, when you were living in Italy, were you a member of the Peace Corps?
No. I was by myself. No.
All right, Joe. Sounds like there's a lot going on there. Are you someplace different today?
No, I'm in my house. But
Okay.
The television is on in the background.
Okay. Joe, thank you.
Wow, he's cheating on us, Don.
All right. Yeah, he's got something else going on there, but he's making his call, the Peace Corps, today with Joe. What are the odds? I didn't look at the daily odds here, Dan, but to Joe making it to Dom Day 2 weeks from tomorrow, what are we setting the odds out now? About 50-50?
I'd say 50-50.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's probably,
That
maybe
would be
60-40
the highlight.
in favor.
Yeah, I'm going to have a sketch contest before on Twitter. I don't know how we do that. I've had people. I want to see drawings of Joe of Exton. I'd love to have a prize for it of what people think. I'm sure there'll be an ascot in there. What is the height, Joe of Exton? I'd peg him about 5'10". Dan, what do you think?
Yeah.
Any distinguishing scars or other features?
No. I see the smoker's jacket.
Okay.
But like he's not a smoke. Well, I guess he smokes his pipe, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I got to figure an actor because there's an actor, maybe like a Sean Connery type.
Yeah.
Like just sitting there in front of the fire, legs crossed, pipe to the side, book in his lap.
Any hair?
TV on now, apparently. I don't know what the hell's going on over at Joe's house.
Any hair?
Yeah. But perfectly coiffed.
Perfectly coiffed.
Perfectly
Yes,
coiffed.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
That's why you get along so well.
855-839. He's an all-timer. All the years of talk radio, he is incredible. So Biden stumbling around today as usual. Particularly, there's a shot of him getting out of his limousine, the Beast, wanting to know where to go, moving all over the place. I don't know what that's about, what that's a sign of. But this idea that somehow or another, working Ukraine into this, that's acceptable here. That just makes it another political speech of the moment. I mean, isn't there enough fodder there with all those world leaders? Now, I'd have to go back and see Reagan's speech. I heard what the gunnery sergeant said about Trump. True. And the 75th. But nobody did it like Reagan. Reagan's style, his voice, the tenor, unmatched. He did it appropriately. And particularly, this is toward the tail end. I'm amazed. There must be 50 to 60 of these guys there. And the youngest, they seem to be 95 plus, maybe even more. I mean, I know several over 100. To just honor them, maybe single them out, what they did in this. He called out several. But that ought to be what it's about. The gunnery sergeant said something interesting, too, that it was just such overwhelming force. That's how on Omaha Beach they ultimately were able to overcome. I guess the Nazis were under such fire without reinforcements, they couldn't maintain that. But when you see the visuals in Saving Private Ryan, it does seem impossible to get up on those cliffs, to make it up there ultimately. And defensively, if you're doing that, you got to think you have just an unbelievable advantage. By the way, I saw a story, too, that this day was in the annals of being a meteorologist, a huge day, and they blew it. They basically said it would be better weather than it turned out to be. You know, you think in the middle of June, how bad could weather be there? You're looking at the beach today. It's not a place along there where it's cold and it's clear the wave pattern and all that is murder. And you have to somehow or another under fire go quite a distance to actually get to the beach. It's startling. And that's why it's captured in our memory, second to no military event that I can think of offhand. All right, so you get in right now at 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that we need you to do is just push pound 1210 and you're on board. So we're opening up this new lane here, though, with the Biden campaign going after Trump on the military today. And you heard the gunnery sergeant. That's fine to take shots in that manner. But in Joe Biden, you have a guy with not the ability. I mean, who's the last president, probably Herbert Walker Bush, that would have the ability and the credentials in his own life to be able to push back on this? Biden certainly doesn't. His actions as president, the Afghanistan thing, you don't come back from that easily, if at all. People still bring it up, even though it was near the beginning of his term. All right, AT&T and Verizon Wireless, just push pound 1210. Let me tell you for a moment about my friend, dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, because I think we've done a good job at showing you the support staff he has and the infrastructure there as far as all the technology down to the slightest thing for your comfort. But something he does that really sets it apart, that you'll love as a long-term patient. Whatever the procedure is, it could be routine, could be a comprehensive, multifaceted process. He and his staff sit down with you. They create a clear plan explaining it step by step. So if you have questions, if you've been putting off a dental problem, you're looking for a great dentist, you're finally ready to maybe get that smile you've always dreamed about, no better place to call right now to get that first visit with Dr. Robert Bentz. The Bentz Dental Group, you'll see the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949, 610-272-6949.
And paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free, the consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Inflation has taken our economy by storm. According to government statistics, since 2021, the average investor paid over $11,000 extra per year. Political unrest and supply chain issues continue to push the prices of goods and services higher, forcing 40% of retirees to return to the workforce, according to a study by Atticus Law Firm. That's why the team at Crash Proof Retirement tailors each and every Crash Proof Retirement system with guaranteed inflation fighters that can increase your income up to 35% to cover rising costs without depleting your nest egg. Discover how our proprietary inflation fighters can protect your retirement lifestyle, documented in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Dawn Stensland here for my friends at Anderson Mechanical Corporation, AMC. Yeah, they want to make sure your AC blows that cool air you'll need when summer temperatures are here. The owners, Carrie and Bill, take great pride in doing things the right way. Take advantage right now of their spring tune-up special. You'll receive a 15% discount off your spring maintenance and 1 year of free maintenance with a replacement system. Call them today, amcontheweb.com, AMC ontheweb.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group.
The forecast remains a bit unsettled across the Delaware Valley today. Skies partly to mostly cloudy, still a chance for a shower or storm. It'll be humid with a high 86. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low 68. And for Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, warm but less humid, high 86. The forecast remains a bit unsettled across the Delaware Valley today. Skies partly
Get special
mostly
financing
cloudy,
as low as
still a chance
2.9% for up to 48 months on the new 2024 Honda CRV and Passport. Visit Piazza Honda in Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, and Springfield, or online at piazzahonda.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Come to your calls here in a moment. Byron Donalds, we talked about today as one of the leading VP candidates for President Trump. Here's his response to the dreaded Philadelphia Inquirer and the whole thing when he was here on Tuesday night in Philadelphia at a cigar and cognac event, talking about Jim Crow and making what I thought was a point that you can make again and again and again. Didn't say Jim Crow was great for black people. Talked about the family, though. Why, under that kind of assault, would the family be that strong? And then later, post Lyndon Johnson, be that weakened? Here's what he said.
America, Joe Biden's campaign is lying to you once again, and they're gaslighting. Now they're trying to say that I said black people were doing better under Jim Crow. I never said that. They are lying. But why would you be surprised? Because they always lie. This is the same Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for him, then you ain't black. The man is a liar. Sorry, just call it what it is. What I said is that you had more black families under Jim Crow. And it was the Democrat policies under HEW, under the welfare state, that did help to destroy the black family. That's what I said. And I also said you're seeing a reinvigoration of black families today in America. And that is a good thing. So don't listen to the lies from the Biden administration. I know what I said, and I'll say it straight to camera. They got to run to the Philadelphia Inquirer to move their lies. Joe Biden does not care about black people. He never has. He cares about power. First, second, and third. They can go somewhere with all that. See ya.
All right. He was also on CNN. We'll play that a little bit later. Like what he said about the Inquirer, they're seething. They can't wait when these black or Latino conservatives do something, come to suddenly the office opened up on Frankfurt Avenue is not good enough for the Inquirer, because it's still in a majority white area. They, I'm not sure exactly how they reckon that fully. That's what they're looking at constantly, because they know if you break through this post Lyndon Johnson, this nonsense, they have no shot. That's what it comes down to. That's what they're holding up here. So if Trump breaks through and maybe the next Republican sees some of the areas, something that, look, I've said over 20 years, we're right in the throes of this now. We have coming up the battle over the budget in Pennsylvania. It's the one time of the year when these people in Harrisburg are interesting. Okay. And one of the biggest issues is Shapiro going to go with vouchers? Are they going to be able to push this through this time around, a one sort or another? It doesn't move the needle, though. It's seemingly, with many African Americans and Latinos, not enough. It's not significant. I don't get it why. I wish it did. It should, because Democrats are telling these parents, no, we're not going to let you make a choice. We're going to hold you hostage in these rotten big city schools. And that's what they are, by and large. There's an oasis here and there that people, there's one down the block from us. People raise a lot of money. There's a lot of white families in Center City there. But you go into, well, when Biden was here, why didn't he go to a public school? Why did he go to Girard College, a private school? They want to keep people in those public schools. Now they're going to be asking for a huge tax raise around this on a lot more money, claiming, once again, money is the answer. Now, if you've ever been in a classroom or around the school, you know, sure, money helps around the edges, but the bottom line is, do you have discipline in the schools? Can you really teach? Do you have an administration that gets what's needed to reach these kids? And if you don't, it doesn't matter how much money you have. But this whole issue of school choice, I wish were the needle mover. What's moving it now, somehow or another, is Trump. Trump's background, Trump's personality. It's having people take a look at him and his policies. If he just does what he did in the South Bronx, that sort of rally, it's a winner. All right, Gary in Newtown is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary, afternoon to you.
Hey, Dom, I just wish the weather was as good as your show today.
Well, thank you very much.
There. You're welcome very much. I called in and I've had some time to write some notes. And Dan the other day, because I always forget to tell you this. Dan the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, bring something back, and that was the AM radio. Was that yesterday or Wednesday or Tuesday?
Yeah, but it's one
combination because I said it earlier in the week, but then today I also mentioned AM radio.
Yeah, both days, yeah.
But what I've been meaning to say to both of you for so long is that girl Jessie, who you had on, that is the beauty of the AM talk radio format. You tee it up, and you'd be such a great moderator because you'd let it go, and you let it go where it needs to go. If you just have Jim or Dan cut the first 30 seconds of her retort to that commercial and send it to the Trump campaign, it's over. She's amazing.
Yeah, she was very effective, particularly given her background. Even though I differ with her hair on the military answer, it was a good one. I think if you're in the military, all things being equal, Gary, I like you running for public office, even without private experience. But overall, yes, she's great. And she's on a lot of Newsmax. I haven't seen her on Fox. So, yeah, she's good.
And that's why I will differ slightly with Leslie. And I want Tulsi Gabbard as a VP choice because of the things that I heard her. She is a Democrat, but she's more on the JFK, which is leading to my side question answer. She's more of a JFK Democrat, meaning a people's Democrat, not a power Democrat. She doesn't want wars.
So what's your answer today to the side question, Gary?
Can I just say one more thing? I'd love to have DeSantis, even though he's not in the running. I'd love to have DeSantis as the Attorney General. That's where I think he'd do the best work.
Yes. I don't know if he's a lawyer or not. Is DeSantis a lawyer? Yes, that's right. He was a judge.
Yes, he's a judge advocate.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
that's right. All right. So, what's your answer?
Did anybody happen to see the colors of the spectrum, the new spectrum, this morning? My brother took a shot on the way in. It was the rainbow colors on the Flyer Stadium. So. That was disheartening.
Well, it's Pride
Month. But my side question answer is the Democrat Party has swung so poorly progressive left, where JFK wouldn't be recognized as a Democrat today. He would be a far right Republican.
All right, I don't know about far right, but he'd be a Republican. Yes, I agree with you on that. Democrat Party, absolutely.
What a nice call.
Very nice call from him. A lot of ground there he's covering.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's kind of the official archivist of the show. 855-839-1210. You get on board. More calls coming up on Talk Radio 1210. More calls coming up.
Congressman Byron Donalds, the man himself. Any comments on Biden's executive action on the border?
The man is gaslighting the American people. The reason Joe Biden is doing this is because his poll numbers suck. Let's just call it exactly what it is. Don't mince words. His poll numbers suck because he sucks as a president. He's terrible, and he's got to do a fig leaf of reversing course. And that's what this mess is today. America, do not be confused by this charade and this sham.
Rich Cioli, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
You know, June is Men's Health Month with Rescue Natural Supplements. Life is busy. It can be hard to focus on your health. Thankfully, Rescue Men's Health Supplements, they have the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that provide men with what they need. Rescue supplements can help boost testosterone, provide a healthy prostate, as well as support energy, vitality for a very active life. And now for the month of June, When you buy one of their Men's Health single bottles, you'll receive a second totally free. Just use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one free offer. To order, call a Rescue Product Consultant at 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Or shop online by visiting res-q.com. res-q.com. Discover the amazing benefits of Rescue Natural Male, Prime RX, Super Prostate, and more. Again, use the code STRENGTH for the buy one, get one free offer on Rescue Men's Health products. Shop res-q.com and do it today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-523-3030. That's 800-523-3030. 800-523-3030.
Although you try not to, most of us have used an ATM out of network. And at the end, you get that notice that it's going to cost you $4 extra.
Are you kidding me?
So you're paying money to get your own money. It makes you crazy. In retirement, you're going to want to use that 401k, but every time you dip into it, you have to pay taxes. Here we go again. You have to pay money to get your own money.
Oh, come on!
Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group believes that every retirement plan needs a tax plan. Without it, you're using Uncle Sam's plan. And do you really think that's going to work in your favor? Call Retire Ready Financial Group today at 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 and schedule a complimentary retirement consultation. Or you can find them online at retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
La 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 la. Oops.
Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La, 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 la,
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, two quick out-of-the-box stories, and then I want to talk a little D-Day with some cool events that were happening over there. But first, China, and everything's not as it seems, including in their natural landscapes. A hiker was hiking up the Yuntai Mountain waterfall, billed as China's tallest uninterrupted waterfall, when he found that the water that was coming for the waterfall was actually coming out of a giant pipe. They were feeding water to a waterfall to create to create China's largest waterfall. So, as many things in China, some is not as it seems. And Dom, a Pringles thief, told police that once you pop, you can't stop. He started stealing Pringles because he became so addicted, using their slogan as a defense, Dom. I don't know if that one's going to hold up in court, huh?
Larry Krasner is right on it. He'll get back to us.
And finally, let's go to D-Day, Dom. A lot going on with 320 plus, British, French, and United States airmen jumping, and just a really cool show. Elise Stefanik, one of the VP candidates, riding in the cockpit of one of the planes. I don't know if she jumped or not. And one person that came on to preview this jump was Representative Mike Waltz. And along with Mike, there were other names, McCormick in Congress. We had Alan West tell us that he was actually going to be jumping. So a lot of Republicans. Tim Kennedy, UFC fighter, was up there. And when they landed, they actually had to, show their visas and sign in because, they were coming from another country and had to show their passports. But Representative Mike Waltz has some observations from D-Day and just the patriotism that they show Americans that far exceeds the patriotism that us Americans show our veterans. Here, take a listen.
Hey everyone, here in Normandy in Camp de Mézy on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, right here where we had so many fierce battles. What I love about this place, what I love about Normandy is the appreciation, the gratitude of the French people. Every signpost has an American fallen with a little plaque of their story. This one's Robert Cagel, the 29th Infantry Division. You would think here that D-Day happened like last week, not 80 years ago, with the gratitude, the appreciation, that we love you, America. Thank you for our freedom. Welcome to our liberators kind of atmosphere from the French people. It's just surreal to be here wearing this uniform of our forefathers and to be able to honor men like him.
I really have FOMO after everything that's going on over there, Dom. Fear of missing out. How are you feeling? It seems like an amazing event this year, huh?
Yeah, I've been to France, but never to Normandy, although we're talking about it with conservative tours, so who knows next year. Of course, I'd always like to broadcast from there.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Would be a thing, but it's good to hear Mike Waltz say that because my perception of the French is often negative, but I trust him on that and what's in that area. And thank you for playing that, particularly today in Dan Time with Dom. That's an American hero there.
And that's all I got from Dan Time with Dom. Thank you, Dom.
All right, we bottom out after that. That was the top. Good night, everybody. It's like George Costanza. Mike Waltz, good night, everybody. Yes.
See you later.
Go out on a high note. All right, coming up, big 2 o'clock hour, we'll have Dom's Money Melody. You have all these, now it's 8, the Elite 8 release that Trump, seems like a lot of, Stefanik was in the cockpit of a plane flying in there. Yeah, you can't jump out of the plane unless you have a lot of training. These others have made, some of them, 50 to 100 jumps. So it is a big day on the 80th, and President Biden uses that to pivot to show the difference between him and President Trump, claiming that Trump is the isolationist and Biden is not. Now, our sentiment on this day, of course, is affixed to the greatest generation and what these men did storming that beach. But isn't there a big difference between the necessity to do that after being attacked, Pearl Harbor, et cetera, versus Biden's pivot and the Democrat Party that these sacrifices would be for naught unless we continue to do even more for Ukraine? Nobody's called me unchallenged on that today. That's his stance. That's certainly not the Trump stance. And the Trump stance is stay out of these conflicts around the world. America first. Is that isolationism, or is that what people want? They're tired of these unending situations. I told you, standing here in the Oval Office, after Trump talked to 4 of us talk show hosts, about 20 congressmen came in. They were trying to convince Trump right there in front of us to put troops into Syria. We had pulled out. They wanted more in Syria. Dan Crenshaw was one and others. And Trump, I could tell, was having none of this. He's not going to get you into these situations. That's how people die. Is it worth it? Certainly, liberating Europe, beating off the Nazis, beating off the Japanese was worth it and what we had to do. Does that mean we have to do these other things? I think Americans would say no. But the Democrat Party leadership, for a lot of reasons, and Nikki Haley, people like Nikki Haley, are saying, yes, that's what we always have to do. So I'd love to hear from you. When was that turning point? 855-839-1210. Dan, you tell me that Rich has a poll up. Will Biden be the nominee? Convention end of August, 77% say no. I'm going to take the other side on that.
Yeah?
Yeah. And for three reasons. One, I see how bad he was. I mean, it's amazing today how, particularly when he got out of the limo. Two, he's not giving it up. Two, she's not giving it up. Dr. Jill Biden. Three, there are, and it's speculation of exactly who has a lot of power in the White House in different lanes. But with a president that is addled in this manner, it's clear that any number of people have more power than any functionaries behind the scene would have. They're not going to give it up. So, we've heard this before, that either Trump or both of them wouldn't make it to the finish line. Trump could be in jail. He's still going to be the nominee and running. I'll take it right now. I'll take a pizza bet. Dan, which side are you on? You think Biden's going to be out? What's the mechanism to do it? If I hear Michelle Obama, and it's legit that we're starting to hear a groundswell that we measure, potentially I could see that.
The person I'm nervous of is Gavin Newsom still.
How is he dislodging this guy?
I don't know if... Is it an inevitability? Is the guy's mental capacity going to be there by August?
They don't care about that. As long as he's still the best they have to get over the finish line, that's all they care about, because his mental facility, first of all, my stance on him, he's always been a dope. He always has been. And then when you mix that in with the dementia, cognitive decline, call it what you will, it is enormously bad. They don't care about that.
I feel like you have to keep the ruse, though, that the guy's not a puppet, and once it gets to a certain point, it's going to be impossible for them to deny it, right?
I think that point has been well passed. No, Dan, you're wrong. They'll roll out people like,
No, I love it.
They're rolling out Michael Douglas, just sharp as a tack. I tell you, I was just in there. The Wall Street Journal's saying all that. We know it. There is no doubt.
But... Like today, for the example of what happened at D-Day, the guy's trying to sit down in an imaginary chair. I mean, like...
They're saying that's all a ruse. We didn't see that. It was all made up. You were duped. I'm serious. That's all over the media saying we were duped. All right, so would you take
You don't think Scarborough would ever turn on Biden and say that he's just... he can't be doing this?
Because do they really think they can tag Gavin? Here's another thing. All right, here's the thing, Dan. I forgot. I got caught up in this. I think Rich and I could do a great cross. I don't know if he agrees with this or not. So I can't say, but
I can hit him up and see.
I don't want to bother him in prep, but maybe on on Dom Day though, because he's having Jimmy Fallon. We have Scott Presler. There's even talk of a jitney going over there.
Hey,
that would be a good back and forth day.
That would be
because we're both going to be down the shore.
Yeah.
Here's the point I was going to make. All right, and I challenge anybody to call in if you're on Dan's side, because there's a reasonable argument here. Dan, how are you getting past Kamala Harris? How's Gavin Newsom getting past Kamala Harris?
I think Kamala's... So Nick Hale, he just posted. So thanks, Nick, coming to my aid here. Guys, just remember, as lost as Joe is, Kamala actually polls lower than he does. Let that sink in for a moment. I mean, is she so unlikable that they can just brush her aside?
You guys are dealing... I might have to ask Rich on that political operative extraordinaire. Dan, you're not getting past her. That's why she's there at VP. She's a female, African-American, Asian, etc. Jim Clyburn put him in there. You think they're going to let this guy, with great hair, I might add, from California roll past Kamala Harris? There's only one way you're getting him out of there, in my view, if it's Michelle Obama. You're not going to bypass Kamala Harris. That's always been the big sticking point, as far as I can tell.
It's a question I'm genuinely curious about, so I'm going to text him and see also who he would think would be the replacement.
Yeah, okay, and we got Nick Kale jumping in. No nap today.
I love it.
Wow. Nick, call us here. Jumping into Dan's side. We got a massive... We're putting Pizza Makers of America in business here. All right, if you're out there and you have a pulse, you agree with this? Joe Biden, after today's annex, will be out. I don't know why you would wish for Biden to be out. So let's talk about that. Is Biden the strongest shot they have to win, or would Gavin Newsom be stronger? I'm going to say Biden's still stronger to win, because Gavin Newsom's baggage just in the one time I had him on, and we haven't seen it publicly yet, the vetting of it, that he's running for president, I don't see that as a winner.
What was the second question? Curious who the replacement would be? And
Yeah. How do you get past Kamala
How do you
Harris?
get past Kamala?
All right, so here's how you get in. Do you think Biden will be out? 855-839-1210. A lot of stuff today on D-Day. We even have Rich. We have Nick Kale. I don't know what Dawn's doing. Maybe she'll weigh in before the end of the show. Matt Rooney, if you're out there, you get to break the tie.
Mike Opelka, no, come on.
Mike Opelka.
That brings it back to a tie.
That's right.
Barry Sable it is.
All right. Barry Sable, yeah. Go ahead, jump in there.
Oh, Walt Sterling, though, even to back up. A lot of live and local here on WPHT.
That's right. That's a lot of stuff. 855-839-1210. You get in on Talk Radio 1210.
I want to tell you about my friend, my dentist, and the master of dental implants, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. You know, we're approaching special occasion season, graduations, showers, weddings. If you're getting ready for a special event, don't forget your smile, because it's going to be in all the pictures. Get your smile special occasion ready by making an appointment with Dr. Mike today. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike for years. My entire family goes to Dr. Veneria because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence that Dr. Mike and his staff delivers to every patient is unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that has made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. So if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
It's here, the summer heat, and it's getting hotter, and that heat's just pouring into your home. Need a solution? Trust PJ Fitzpatrick for the perfect new insulated and vented roof. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. PJ Fitzpatrick, voted best of Philly, installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free design consultation. Plus, they have special financing if you need it. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS has raised the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes in recent years. This hits hard if you're behind on your taxes. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. If you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. One note, I'm watching her on Fox all day. Martha McCallum is tremendous, and particularly seeing her at Normandy. She captures veterans. Several books, I believe, she's written, as well as or better than anybody. But Dan, you got a little update from Rich, who I know is traveling, but and I reject this too. But tell me how Kamala Harris is out of there.
So Sotomayor retiring from the court. Kamala goes in at some point this hour. We do hope to hear from him. He's on a train right now. Not great cell service, but so at some point, hopefully, we'll pull him into the studio and have a combo about it.
That's not likely to happen simply because, again, it's diminishing her. Being on the Supreme Court's not the same thing as being president. You go to Jim Clyburn, all right, Jim, we got to win this and all. And you're tagging in this white bread white guy extraordinaire over Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. Oh, my goodness. She's a disaster. She was a disaster. Dan, she didn't even run for president. They still put her in there.
Yeah.
Not only that, you think you're getting Harris out of there when she knows the likelihood, if Biden loses, she's one of the people that's going to run for president. If he wins, does he get to the finish line of the second term? I don't think so. That's what the odds would tell us.
So then Kamala,
Yeah, so
at that point, though, are you reconsidering a different VP? Because if Kamala then becomes a successor, is she going to win? Like, there's no way that she can win an election, right?
You guys are all making logical sense. But the reality of the National Democrat Party as it is today, let's go back.
Yeah, that's the elephant in the room.
Biden won in South Carolina. It's over 50%, maybe 60, are African-American voters in South Carolina. He was losing state after state in states that are not necessarily overly progressive like Nevada and all, to Bernie Sanders and others, right? Suddenly, he wins in South Carolina. Jim Clyburn said, vote for Joe Biden. And what was the deal? He was going to pick a woman of color as a VP. Remember that charade he went through? The woman who was the mayor of Orlando, Bass, who's now the mayor of L.A., and everybody knew in the end, it's got to be Kamala Harris. She's always been a disaster. She's a bigger disaster than I thought. And she's been promoted up the line forever. And now we're going to get rid of her, tag in Gavin Newsom. She wouldn't be able to run in 28 then if he were the winner. He's going to run again. She's got to wait it out on the Supreme Court. There's already been the first black woman on the Supreme Court. I get all this. It makes sense in a logical sense, but realize what we're dealing with here, it has nothing to do with the country or any of that.
Can I push it forward? Just
sure.
If it theoretically were to happen, would you be nervous, scared for Trump's shots, or do you think it stays the same? And are people voting against the Democrat Party, or are they voting against Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, they're already having trouble with African-American voters. Do you think, not that they're crazed over Kamala Harris, but dumping her and bringing this guy out, that's going to bring them out? Two, he's unvetted. I mean, he's slick. I've had him in studio, Gavin Newsom. He's a disaster in California. What are the skeletons in the closet there? We just haven't seen that. So I don't think that's a sure thing. I think they have a better shot with Biden, just like they did before, than the mess that would happen out of this. The only thing I worry about is if they were able to tag in Michelle Obama, because in the short term there, we wouldn't be able to get her on record enough, debates, et cetera. I think that she can be beaten, but for a period of time, she would coast, as she always has, and you would have trouble. I'm telling you, you're really going against the laws of instinct here with the Bidens kicking him out. And also, you're going against, also, he'd have to pardon Hunter Biden at that point. I think there would be backlash, right? If he dropped out, as he's dropping out, seconds before he's no longer president, he'd have to pardon Hunter Biden or, well, it would be him. Well, wait a minute. He's not dropping out then. He's staying on. I'm playing this out. He's dropping out of the race, but he's staying as president. He still would have the power then to pardon even after the election. Okay. So Hunter Biden, not a consideration. All right, love to get you in with this. We got the whole staff behind the scenes here. Given, I think, seeing Biden today in Normandy publicly, this was right up there with some of his worst. But what makes us believe that they would give this up? Are they buying? They would just roll if it's Gavin Newsom? They're not suggesting it would be Kamala Harris, right? Oh, man. Let's bring that on. All right, 855-839-1210. We got the side question going on, too. What is it that has dropped off the radar screen? Today is our day that we honor higher education. That's why it's a side question today. Let's go to Robert in Bensalem. Robert, good afternoon.
Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today.
Thank you.
Just want to chime in on this, and you're both right in a way. You're right, Dom, in that this is the best chance they have right now, and Dan's right in that this guy can't. It would be malpractice to run him. But I'm submitting that the replacement ticket, because I hear your concerns about Kamala, Dom. The replacement ticket would be Newsom, Michelle Obama as Veep, with the Democrats looking at a 16-year run in their fantasies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing is, Robert, I don't see any indication with Michelle Obama that she thirsts for this. They have a good life. They're making $50 million a year or whatever. I don't see her as. You'd have to anoint her right there. She doesn't want to have to deal with anything to get to be the president. So.
And the Democrats would allow it, and that would tell the African-American voters that Barack Obama is back in spirit in the White House, and it's safe to vote for them again. I don't think it's a winner. I see why Dan is nervous about it, but we both know Newsom is Biden with better hair, really. But Michelle Obama could take away the stink of getting rid of Kamala. And Dom, even the Democrats know Kamala's a disaster. You know,
I know, but I'm telling you though, that's true. But I could be the ability to dislodge the first black woman in that position. I don't think anything can do that other than Michelle Obama. That's it.
Replacing her with a more popular African American woman. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I love to listen to you guys kick this stuff around, man. I really do. That's what got me to call. For my answer to the side question, I'm just going to go with the fourth estate and be consistent and boring, Dom. The media is nothing compared to what it used to be, you know?
You're not boring, Robert.
You're not boring ever, Robert, so thank you.
You guys have a great day, okay?
Thanks, Robert. You too. All right. Dan, let's go to it because we got a lot of breaking stuff here. It is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
By the way, Dan, you're going to have to cook up something because tomorrow I will be in the center of the Hot Balloon Universe. Yes.
Hot Balloon Universe?
It is the annual Talkers Convention.
Oh, it's a lot hotter.
The hot air there at Hofstra. Just picture maybe 200 or more Zioli Giordano's. Well, Nick Cale, it's more the real hot air convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 of us. Yeah.
A 20-degree spike on Long Island.
Oh, God, it's
convention.
nuts. And all those pesky New Yorkers and all that stuff. We'll be coming to you from Hofstra tomorrow. All right, Dan?
So, Dom, we're talking about institutions that were once very popular that have since faltered, and new metal rap rock is a genre that was once huge in the early 2000s, and this guy, I want the name of the individual, was king of new metal rap rock, and he was an institution in the world of pop culture and dating and all, and has since completely disappeared seemingly off the face of the earth. Dom, here is a cover of George Michael, a very famous cover of George Michael that many listeners may know, but I want to know the singer of the song. Dom, take a listen. Who is covering it?
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. I know not everybody has got a body like me, but I gotta think twice before I give my heart away. And I know all the games you play, 'cause I play them too.
We're looking for the lead singer today, Dom.
My goodness.
Not a fan of new metal rap rock?
No, yacht rock might be better than that even. All right. All right, hit us with that, and you're off to see Joe Conklin, the City Rhythm Orchestra, Wildwood Catholic Academy, North Wildwood, Saturday, June 29th. The show is a musical tribute to Philadelphia sports, featuring all of Conklin's impressions, plus songs with Joe's daughters, his brothers, and guest performers. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. All right. Coming up, we'll get a winner here on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
As we honor a veteran on the first Wednesday of every month, Dale Weatherall is with us. Why specifically is mentorship so important for veterans?
A lot of veterans, they sign up at a young age and they're put in situations where they're in a leadership position, they're being mentored, they see how impactful that is in their life. So it's a way to pay it forward.
Dale, thank you so much for your service. It's a pleasure. Dale is a big part of the Travis Manion Foundation.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies, and we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Listen to Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sunday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Learn about investing, tax strategies, and more. Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Hey Philly, it's Ike Reese. In the city of brotherly love, the only thing we love more than our teams is great savings. And with unlimited welcome from Verizon, you can save big, even if you're on a single line. For a limited time, single lines start at just $50 a month when you bring your own phone. With auto pay plus taxes and fees, that's a savings of $15 a month. And when you switch, now you can save on the things you love, like Netflix and Max, all on the most awarded 5G network. Now that's a real win. There's never been a better time to switch to the network America relies on. But this offer won't last long. Visit your local Verizon store to switch and save big today.
$180 BYOD promo credit and $360 local promo credit applied over 36 months. For new customers with one line on your own 4G, 5G phone on unlimited welcome plan required. Additional terms apply. Auto pay and paper-free billing required. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. $10 a month for each My Plan perk. Additional terms and conditions apply per perk.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking that we're at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
By the way, on Twitter, Dan, a possible winner. What has really gone downhill? The Howard Stern Show. I might have had to vote for that. Yeah. Definitely. Let's hear the clue today, and let's see if we can get a winner. Who's covering this song?
You want the singer, Dom, not the band.
Singer. Right.
I know not everybody has got a body like me, but I gotta think twice before I give my heart away. And I know all the games you play, 'cause I play them too.
All right.
Let's try John in Roxborough. All right, John, good afternoon. Who's covering that song, the singer?
Dom, that would be Fred Durst.
All right, very nice. I am stunned right out of the box.
Yeah? Not a big rap rock fan, huh?
No.
No, new metal? Really fallen off. Last I heard from Fred Durst, it was, well, not me personally, but in the news, 2018 or so, he lost almost all his belongings in a wildfire. But back in the early 2000s, this guy, known for wearing his baseball caps and singing this type of music, dated Britney Spears, some other big names, was all over the tabloids, and has since kind of fallen out of the public eye. But once an institution, Limp Bizkit.
Yes, I know that.
Fred Durst,
Okay.
off the board.
All right, a winner here today. We'll do it all again tomorrow in Conklin. That is a great, great time. Okay, so a lot of stuff up in the air today. Now, the media saying, why are we looking at Biden trying to sit down when everyone else is standing up, claiming it's a phony RNC thing to say there was no chair there. I'm watching him get in and get out of the limo, the presidential limo here. Yeah. And again, his staff, I'm sure, is just telling him, look, when you don't know where to go, don't be doing all this stuff about which way, he's freezing doing this. Just go somewhere. We'll figure it out. Apparently, he can't do that. Apparently, that's not in his DNA at this point. So that leads to more speculation there in the Wall Street Journal report yesterday with some Democrats like Meeks from New York. And Meeks admitted he got a call from the Biden administration saying you might want to call the Wall Street Journal and clarify some of those remarks, right? And he had to say, oh, yeah, I didn't mean anything about the difficulty Biden behind the scenes. All right, it's true. Let's go down the list, though, of tagging him out. There's difficulty with it. And two, they're not tagging him out because they're afraid this guy's commander-in-chief and, oh, my God, how can we go another 4 years? Because any number of people want to be in there exercising the power that they have right now. And Dr. Jill Biden is one of them. I'm thinking she's becoming more like Edith Wilson every day, without a doubt. So they don't want to give that up. It's not a question, well, he's not an actual president. Yeah, what's that mean? And tagging in someone like Gavin Newsom is not the way to go here. I don't see how you do that. I know the theory, Sotomayor, tell her to retire. I don't think she's going to retire if she's told to retire, first of all. And then we're going to put Kamala Harris in there. And she'll go along with that. Clyburn will go along with that. Now, if it's Michelle Obama, so we hear this all the time, but there's no indicators by anything other than that's always been out there. What about Michelle Obama? Yeah, that is a difference maker. So Biden's been doing this for at least the last 2 or 3 years. One of these guys, I think, was around 100. They had a little sound with Biden, and the guy said, never get old. Oh, man, not exactly the thing that you want to hear with President Biden. But it was not just the chair sitting down. They hustled him off prior to Macron. They claimed that was all the way it was supposed to go. And the getting out of the limo and just looking all over the place, the exaggeration of this is just stunning all in one day, particularly a principal day like this. So it revives the talk. Why have they not done something like that to this point? Why would they wait to the convention? Well, there's more power of the delegates, I guess. That is a very messy thing around that. Particularly, I see no shot for Gavin Newsom. I really don't. So, Dan, do you want to bet a pizza on it, though? Because, you know what?
Betting pizza now?
This guy is way, this could be, when we get to Dom Day on the 21st, we're going to have to keep a ledger there. You can step up on and make all your pizza bets. We'll write them all down right there, and we'll see where it goes. Are you still in that camp?
What, Newsom?
Yeah.
Or just in general, that'll be replaced.
They'll take him out. They'll take him out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I'm in that camp.
All right. I know it's tempting for the obvious reasons.
I think similar to what you say, number one priority for both conservatives and the DNC is win.
Right.
I think they're realizing there's not much of a path for Biden to win at this point.
So Gavin Newsom, though, a guy who's the failure, who is unvetted at the presidential level, all right? I don't know the level of vetting of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you always have to worry about. Suddenly, when you announce for president, 1,000 guys come out of the woodwork. The vetting that you would think has gone on. He's been in the public eye. He's a national figure. He's a governor of California. You don't get vetted like that until you run for president. And then we'll see how many things come up. I don't think Mitt Romney, we knew fully about the dog on top of the car and all that until he was actually running for president. Then immediately, stuff that you can't believe comes out. Look at Kristi Noem. Well, she did it herself. She's not on the VP list. If Trump had kept her on the VP list, that would have been wild. All right, so I got a pizza bet with Dan here. How about you? You can certainly get in.
So looking at betting odds,
yes,
the RCP average is Biden at 83,
mm-hmm.
Michelle Obama 5.5, Gavin Newsom 4.4, Kamala Harris 2.6, Gretchen Whitmer has potential 1.0, Hillary Clinton 1.0, Bernie Sanders 0.5, Elizabeth Warren 0.5, and Manchin somehow with 0.5.
Now, that's the one I was wrong about. I thought Hillary, behind the scenes, she's alive. She's going to jump into the ring. I'm shocked that she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And, you know, deep down, Dan,
the weirdest thing about me is that I don't sweat.
I've always wanted a Trump-Hillary too. Admit it. People out there, isn't that what you'd like to see? And I want to see the debate where they're walking around as they're talking thing.
Couple other names I'm reading here.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
No. Robert Kennedy.
You don't think the DNC would throw their weight behind him?
The big story to all the Kennedy fans, why is Robert Kennedy Jr. fading rapidly here? Now, he seems to have gotten the infrastructure more right, that he might be on more ballots than I thought. But, Dan, he is becoming rapidly an afterthought here. He's still got potential to disrupt this, but he's not got, people are not gaga over him. They're settling in, it seems to be, with the major parties.
You think it's related to the trial? It seems like it's in conjunction.
Maybe.
You know, Trump's almost been turned and painted as a freedom fighter at this point, and that's what RFK was running a platform on. So are those RFK people now saying, look, this guy's facing a, overbearing federal government. He's the guy now.
Well, Emerson poll out today, and I don't think this poll is ordinarily friendly to Trump, says that 27% of voters say they're more likely now to back the former president after he was found guilty, but about 30% said they lean a little bit away from him because of that. So far, and it's only so far, we are seeing polling indicating that this is not a major deal for Trump. That's so far. Upside, all the energy, all the fundraising, and all the things that would really propel him forward. Downside, yes, there are people saying less likely, can't look in the mirror, that kind of thing. But it's not. And we predicted it wouldn't be this big surge saying, I can't vote for Trump. In the swing states around the edges, though, is that enough for Democrats? That's what my worry would be. All you need is a half to a percentage point, and they'll suffer whatever damage they suffer otherwise. They'll live with it if they can get that out of it and squeak to victory. Don't know that yet. And the fundraising, just the outward signs, the metrics, they are incredible. They're more intense than we've ever seen, even for Trump. All right, love to get you on board, 855-839-1210. That's how you do it. Glad that Rich, Dan, it's on Twitter. Rich's handle is
at Rich Zioli.
At Rich Zioli. Yep. Put up a poll talking about, after seeing today, principally, will Biden tap out or be tapped out from the presidential nomination at the convention?
No, it's currently 70.7% no, 29.3% yes. That's at Rich Zioli for that poll.
Ah, okay.
So down a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Saying no, 70%.
Yeah. Biden will Biden be the nominee? No, 70%.
Oh, 70% no.
Yeah.
I just am amazed at that.
Who's on first?
Yeah, and again, My cynicism on this is nothing matters here but getting across the finish line, and what matters, getting him to give it up. If he won't give it up, getting him out of there, I got to see that. I got to see the delegates turn on him and oust him there.
Interesting angle from Mulligan's Johnny Z.
Uh-huh.
I've theorized for a while that Biden will pardon Hunter, then bow out of the race himself. Who replaces him, we will see.
Well, he still would remain president until January. I mean, I don't think, no, he's not going to pardon Hunter Biden before the election then. If he bows out, he wouldn't do that. He's going to wait until after the election because that's going to be a negative, without a doubt. So, John, I don't see him pardoning before. He wouldn't have to do that. He would just remain as president. I'm going to concentrate on the American people, but I feel, that's all I can do at this point. I'm not going to run. Don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's Kamala Harris is a major reason why. All right, we'll take more calls on this, though, and everything else. The NBA Finals are here, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving you the chance to win alongside the champions. Because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with a winning $5 bet. That's $200 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, and a lot more. And there's no better place to bet on all the finals action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. Take a shot at an extra $200. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
We'll get down to 66 overnight. Possibility of a shower or a thunderstorm early on. For tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 85. And on Saturday, temperature's going to fall a little bit. 82 and mostly sunny. Sunday, 81, partly cloudy. 78 Monday. Not really seeing any chance of rain.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up. You have trouble sleeping. Maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
Summer's a great time to brighten up the window treatments in your home. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no-questions-asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
My dad loves Philly sports, and I need a Father's Day gift.
Tickets to see Joe Conklin are the perfect Father's Day gift.
Oh, my goodness. It was absolutely wonderful. All the voices and the singing.
And just seeing my dad, seeing the look on my dad's face.
Just the mix of the comedy and the singing. You never knew which way they were going to go with it.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic Academy in North Wildwood, Saturday, June 29. And at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey on Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
So many financial firms claim to be fiduciaries, but do any of them provide legally binding documentation to put your best interests first? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation that records all financial meetings, making your meeting legally binding.
Lou Marinucci, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. When the market goes down and then Wall Street still makes money, they're looking out for themselves more than they're looking out for you as the client. It's not a fiduciary responsibility. I don't have that problem here with Crash Proof Retirement. Crash Proof Retirement can assure their customers that they will come out on the positive side because by recording their meetings, it makes them legally bound to do exactly what they say. And that's what a fiduciary is supposed to do.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. We've been talking a lot about D-Day and President Biden and just the special nature of the day. Dan, somebody special showed up.
Yeah,
though.
somebody special performed there, and you're probably aware of this. I'm surprised if you're not, because, Dom, take a listen as to who sang at D-Day.
Now we have the Welsh singer, Tom Jones, so let's hear from him.
If you call.
Wait a minute.
He performed live at the anniversary celebration.
If I had known this was going to happen, I would have said, Greg, get me on a plane to D-Day. We'll broadcast from there.
Yes.
Let's hear the great man.
I will hold back the evening of your son, but I won't crumble with you if you fall. I will shadow the heat of your day.
This is very emotional.
All right.
And I'll drink.
Soulful is the expression I'd say. I told you about Tom. It was a bit of a joke when we first started that I thought he was a better entertainer than you thought. But
it's really grown to be the truth.
Yeah, he is.
He really is.
He just, with Janis Joplin, who was the epitome of rock and died at, 28 or so drugs, with Tom Jones, and he seemed to be the more hip than Janis Joplin even. That's a wild duo, Dan. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, so Tom Jones performing live, if you want to Google it, name of the song, I Won't Crumble With You If You Fall. And man,
wow.
he can't hold back the tears. And looking at the audience, too, nobody's holding him back. It's
What a great choice.
Yeah,
and the criticism.
Beautiful rendition, Tom Jones.
We had a Biden today, and we had on the Gunnery Sergeant Veterans for Trump, was that Biden made this about isolationism, Putin, Europe, and Ukraine, rather than just for once. You've got to give the lion's share, the overwhelming share, to these people in front of you. I mean, this storming of Normandy gets the imagination of Americans second to none. It's just sheer the audacity of it, the difficulty of it, the sacrifice is stunning, like nothing we've ever seen. And to then pivot to Ukraine here too much, that's my criticism today, other than the usual things indicative that Biden is barely getting by, if at all, let alone actually acting as president. If we hear one more time, because I think Trump in June turned 78. If we turn one more time, well, they're pretty close in age. It's not about age. It's about the person. Look at Bernie Sanders. Even he's had a heart thing. He's a few years older than Biden. Just look at it's Biden. So obviously, why did they put him in there the first time? Because that's the only way they could have won. And he got the break of COVID. He could stay in the basement. Why would they do this again? Well, because he won't give it up. The people exercising power, in addition to Dr. Biden, they're not going to give it up. And then Kamala Harris, they used to say, man, President Obama chose wild. You're never going to impeach him, move him out of there. You got Joe Biden as president. Oh, well, Biden has done it again. You got Kamala Harris sitting there. I'm telling you, it's a lot harder to get her out of there than you think, okay? Much, much harder. All right, 855-839-1210. Let me go to our buddy, lawyer Tom in Rosemont. Hey, Tom, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, thanks very much. I'm going to be disagreeing with you, but it happens once every 1,000 times.
Okay.
Today is absolutely the wrong day to mention anything political. But I hate to do this. I have to agree with Biden. We have to stop Putin in Ukraine. This is analogous to Lend-Lease aid to the Soviet Union and Britain during the war. The United States was not attacked despite being isolationist. It was attacked because it was isolationist and showed weakness. Ukraine cannot fall. If it does, Russian troops will be moving hundreds of miles west into the heart of Europe.
I don't think we were attacked, though, Tom, aside from Ukraine in World War II, because we showed weakness with the Japanese. We had put restrictions. They had a lot of trouble getting oil, things of that nature. And I think that's why they attacked us more than anything.
But, Tom, there was a very strong isolationist move, and people were saying that they would never go to war. Mm-hmm. And guess what happens? When you tell your enemy you're not going to go to war, you end up in a war. And we can differ on that, but I believe that is definitely with Japan. And Germany declared war on the U.S. because they were already involved in the shooting war in the North Atlantic.
You agree, though, they're at Normandy, and I understand the pivot trying to make – first of all, I don't see the comparison as the same thing. This is much more enormous. But aside from that, on this day with those living representatives there, isn't this a chance to talk about the greatness of America through them, the greatest generation?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But when I was a child, my uncle, he went into Normandy on June 7th, and I was young and stupid and said, whoa, were you ever jealous of the guys who get all the attention on June 6th? And he responded, well, they were still shooting at me when I showed up. So, yeah, the war wasn't over on June 7th. So, anyway.
The enormity of it is second, and it's an imagination thing, Tom. It is the Alamo or something of that nature. More enormous, though, and staggering. Yeah, definitely. So, Tom, what is something that's gone downhill big time?
Adult magazines, Dom. Everything's online now. You won't find anything in print anymore. I'm not saying
why do you want print?
But if it's your thing, it's gone.
There you go. Thank you, Tom. All right, that is an interesting choice. All right, we have the lightning round next. God knows this all coming. If you're wondering, side question today, because today is Celebrate Higher Education Day. Oh my God, what a fraudulent holiday to even consider that, given everything. We're asking of something that used to be mandatory that's under fire downhill. We'll get a winner coming up. We'll tell you about tomorrow, broadcasting from our annual hot air convention, known as the Talkers Convention in Hofstra. And Dan, I'm taking the trains up with your help and multiple prayers from chaplains versus driving up, which is arduous, to put it oh my God.
Yeah, that's tough.
Coming home on a Friday from Long Island, coming back to Philadelphia at about 4:30. Oh my God.
That's like a 3-hour trip, huh?
It's the type of thing where your device comes on and says you are still taking the best route, knowing how frustrated you are at that point. Do not do anything else to keep saying you're taking the best route.
It's always great when your GPS dunks on you,
right?
accident ahead, but you're still taking the best route.
You're moving extremely slow, but yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
It's so important to make sure our families have the essentials: food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. There's a lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail, incredible. Dwayne, my guy, fantastic. They'll come out to your home, test your water, recommend solutions that make sense for you. Contact Martin Water Conditioning today. They'll take great care of you. Click on martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Tell him Dom G sent you.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to NJDiet.com. Get ready for spring with NJDiet.com.
When it comes to your home or business, Bradford White knows hot water is not optional. It's essential each and every day. That's why Bradford White makes water heaters that are built to be the best. With innovative features like our exclusive Microban antimicrobial technology that helps protect and keep the tank clean and extends the life of the water heater for top performance 24/7. How you heat your water matters, so choose the proven reliability of Bradford White. Learn more at bradfordwhite.com.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey
The time
app.
has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, good news, Dan. Rich will be on with us tomorrow. We'll see what the end of that poll is, and we'll see how many pizza bets.
It's going to be a dang good Zioli show, so stick around for this one.
Yeah, he'll
today.
be here 4 big hours. But tomorrow, I will ask any number of colleagues what they think about this. I'm betting the talk radio hosts, they're going to say taps out.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, you know, it's more provocative to do that. I don't see it. I'm betting on Kamala Harris, roadblock sitting right there. Try to get me out of here.
So you're going to have Zioli, and there might be some jabs thrown at each other?
No.
I asked because Bob the Hound Kelly, one of the all-time greats of the Flyers.
1:15 tomorrow.
1:15
right.
tomorrow, yeah.
Exactly. Let's go to the Earl, one of the all-time greats of Tack Coney.
Hey.
Earl, welcome in. What do you have today, Earl?
Oh, I got so much. First off, I think Joe Vexton, I imagine him looking like Burt Young from Rocky.
Can you hook me up with Gazzo?
But real quick, when it comes to Michelle Obama, for some reason I have a lot of Democrat influencers on my Twitter feed. And for the last 3 weeks, I've been seeing an awful lot of pictures of Barack Obama and Michelle. And I think that the Democrats behind the scene that are paying these influencers are trying to get people to think about Michelle Obama. I don't see it myself, but I've been seeing a lot of buzz on Twitter. Now, I know Twitter's not the world, But, they do try to influence people and stuff like that.
Well, here, Earl, and I think some of them, like Dan, were saying, well, she takes the VP to get Harris out of there. Somehow or another, they put Kavanaugh. No, she's got to take the presidency, and she would actually have to work at it a bit. I don't see her doing it.
No, I don't see it either. She's not a hard worker. But the fact that Don McLean's going to be down at the Dom Day, do I have to come up with the Don McLean song?
Yeah, of course. Well, he's going to call in.
Going to be on the phone.
He heard about it, and now it's become like an international
But
thing.
we will have the live band Burning Sky out there, Earl.
Yes.
And if you want to sing a Tom Jones song,
definitely.
I did hear that they might give you a mic to sing if you
Oh,
wanted
definitely.
to,
We need that.
Well, I could do Don McLean. What's up with Uncle Joe? Try to ask a question, and you get that creepy smile. On D-Day, he went to France. He stood on stage and crapped his pants, so Macron had to
Earl.
rap for a while.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So, Earl, what's your thing that went downhill?
What I just did. Pop music. Pop music has gone downhill. They auto-tune. They have a rhythm track. They don't write their own music. The words are completely unforgettable. I mean, I steal my music, and Dan auto-tunes my songs. But, at least I'm memorable because I'm entertaining because I'm a comedian. And pop music hasn't been the same since the late 80s, early 90s.
Gotcha. Thank you. Barry in Medford. This is a good one. Barry, what's yours?
You mean Robin?
Robin. Yes, sure. Robin. Hi. What's yours?
Hollywood. Hollywood is going way downhill. They're too woke, and they're too political. Nobody wants to pay attention to these people anymore, and they haven't really made a lot of good movies lately because they're so woked up.
Well, we had both the Marvel thing, which I decry, and then we had just the franchise. Bad Boys 1 Million, Dan, is coming up to save Hollywood. Will it?
And there's really a lack of superstars and starlets in today's world as well.
Yes.
It's sad to see that it's fallen so far.
Drew in Upper Darby's on a roll, Dan. Here he goes again. Drew, what's yours?
Hey, Dom, thank you so much. Dom, my fading tradition, it seems, is the lack of enthusiasm in displaying our American flag on Hollywood on holidays, especially today, D-Day. Every house should have a flag out there. The 4th of July, every house should have a flag. Memorial Day, you don't see the American flag out there like you used to when we were younger.
Thank you, Drew. He's still on a roll this week. One more, I think. Bruce in the Northeast, Dan, and I said this one to you off air. Bruce, what's yours?
Hey, Dom, by the way, heads up for tomorrow. Tom Jones turns 84 tomorrow, just to let you guys know.
Wow, he sounded unbelievable there. Soulful. What a choice. I was right. You don't get to do the 80th anniversary of D-Day if you're a ham and egger.
Yeah. My answer is, Dom, this was a department store. It was a Walmart of its day. It was Sears, where America shops, and you had sales clerks and quality merchandise, and it was the big time, Sears.
I would agree. And, Dan, I told you it's not apocryphal. Sears, you could buy a house that you had to assemble yourself.
No, really?
It would come from Sears.
Wow.
Can you imagine a company sending out a house today with EPA and all other kind of regulations and, low-flow toilet in there? You can't do that. My God. Building a house from Sears.
And Sears really faulted when, during the internet age, they kind of stuck with the catalog rather than going full bore. And they could have been the Amazon, too, with that.
Exactly. All right, Dan, who are some of the contenders today?
Really like the local answer, the Philadelphia Flyers. Tomorrow, 1:15, we get joined by the great Bob Kelly. The Democratic Party for a political one. Adult magazines from Tom and Rosemont, fun answer. Earl and Tacony, pop music. But Robin and Medford really stood out with Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, let's go with Hollywood. And tomorrow, we pretty much have locked up the side question. Since the Phillies are now in London, something associated, someone or something British related to that. I'm sure we'll come up with a lot of entertaining answers. All right, Rich is next with 4 Big Hours. We told you about that poll he has up where people still think, after seeing today, Biden's going to tap out. I'm the contrarian on it. We're betting pizzas on it by the thousands. See you tomorrow, noon until 3, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions.
Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-721-4643. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-721-4643 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643. 800-721-4643.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need